Stock market, OpenAI, failing to meet expectations.
Okay, good morning, everybody. All right, look, we got the three amigos here, but it's not the three amigos you normally would expect. It's me, it's Mike, and it's Eamon. We're here live today. Carlos is taking the day off, so we are looking to try and manage this show without him, and it's always rough when that happens, so bear with us, everybody. We're going to make this work this morning. Hopefully, I need a sound check. We got to make sure. This is the first time doing this with a completely new setup, so we need to know in YouTube. Let us know if you can hear us. Now, in the chat room... Yeah, in the chat room, we got a problem here. I don't think you guys can hear. So you can hear me in the chat room now? How about Mike? Let's go with Mike.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
All right. And Eamon?
Hello, BBT and YouTube.
You got to hit the mic in the chat room, Eamon.
All right, testing. Hello, guys. BBT, can you hear me?
Okay. So, yeah, we're doing this a little different today because I don't have a plug-in it seems to we need. So we're going to make this work one way or the other. All right, we're here. Fantastic. Mike, Eamon, let's start with Mike. How was your night? Tell me that you did something absolutely... You're always out doing something fun. Did you do anything fun last night?
I absolutely did not. I went to Johnny's Pizza, and that was only because I was extremely tired from the night before of thunderstorms that kept me up all night. So I laid in bed looking at the Kansas City skyline, watching Roommates, the movie. That was my...
Roommates. Okay, I don't even know that one.
Just a comedy.
Okay.
I had a boring night. Sorry, everybody.
Okay. All right, Eamon, how about you? What did you do last night? Anything fun?
Yeah, I ordered Domino's pizza and I watched Domino's getting crushed with their earnings. That's all.
Did you really order a Domino's pizza?
You know, I think it's one of the only firms did not sanction Russia, and it's still operating around here. We don't have McDonald's, we don't have KFC, everything is renamed, but we still have Domino's Pizza. So that should tell you something. They do not want to abandon Russia because they're doing really bad.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. You need to order. Apparently, they missed their numbers in earnings by about 20 million. So you need to order a lot of pizza there, Eamon.
Yes.
I'll do my best. Otherwise, they'll leave Russia, and then we'll have nothing here.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a lot to ask. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you had a good evening. On my hand, you know what? I didn't do much. I was working on this show, actually, getting it all ready. So a lot of work there. So hopefully, you guys had a good night, and whatever you're doing. I do see that Mike's mic level is lower. Bim Paris is saying that. It could be Mike sometimes. Gotta.
How about now?
Hopefully that's a little better. They're all
hopefully
they're all set at max, so I can't turn anything up.
I turned my gain up, Peter.
All right, sounds.
You
good.
never know difference between the chat room and then YouTube, and it all goes.
Indeed. So, all right, guys, let's go on with what's happening in the markets. We got a few things happening today. If you take a look, we've got obviously our regular slate of items that are happening in the on the earnings calendar. Of course, we also have our gappers and our scanners that we're going to take a look at here this morning. And why don't I have that? I've got to find that slide. Anyways, we'll get to that. Let's start with what's happening in the market overall from an economic calendar point of view. I don't see a lot. We got a few things on here. Probably the key one is the consumer confidence. Mike, what do you think? Are you going to be watching any of these this morning?
Not really, but I will just kind of have it on in the background. The consumer confidence. It's not really going to impact the market too much. I mean, with the catalyst we have today, and we'll get into it in a little bit about OpenAI missing some numbers, is what's really driving the market, and consumer confidence and the housing prices. They're not going to be able to recover what the market's doing right now. So, to me, good to hear it. Keep it in a routine, but they aren't going to impact the market very much. And we do have a request, Peter, from our YouTube members. Do you know how to start up the VIP section?
Start up the VIP section. No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't.
So
what happens in the VIP section?
I know. So this is for our the people on YouTube. When Carlos gets back tomorrow, you need to make sure that you tell him that he is not informing us to make sure you're taken care of. So you all need to give him crap about making sure Peter wasn't fully prepared. This is not on Peter.
I don't even know what happens there. What happens in VIP stays in VIP.
I didn't know that there is special section there.
I didn't either, to be honest. Why am I not invited? Why don't I get in?
I think we're not VIPs. That's why we don't know what's happening there.
Yeah.
It's probably a section only for Carlos and the VIPs.
Yeah, maybe.
VIPs in X, Peter.
Oh, in X. X. We agreed. I don't have the ability to set that up, so we did talk about that. Unfortunately, yeah. If you were trying to join an X, I can't do that. So that one we knowingly didn't make active today. So apologies for that.
There we go.
But all right. So yeah. So anyways, we were talking about earnings here. Oh, look, and we got my face twice. See, this is. Anyways,
Peter.
So on that, there was I know that when we talk about consumer confidence, there's some interesting different consumer confidence numbers that come out. And I know that, Eamon, you were talking about what the difference was between the consumer confidence ratings.
Oh yeah, so people usually get confused between consumer confidence and between UMIC. So a quick note on this data. Think of it like this. CB tells you if people are likely to keep spending. It's more about jobs and overall economy, while UMISH is more about how people feel right now, especially around inflation, gas, groceries, and everyday stuff. So CB is more forward looking, while UMISH is more about current sentiment. Right now, both are pointing in the same direction. The consumer is getting weaker, just from different angles.
And which one are we getting today, Eamon? Which one is the one that's coming up?
Today we're getting CB. Today we're getting CB, right? Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Consumer confidence.
Okay.
So basically today we'll understand whether people are likely to keep spending. We'll know more about the jobs and the overall economy.
Okay.
But I think it's more of a lagging indicator because we already have these numbers from the previous weeks. I mean, it's similar data, but from different angles. Yep.
Okay.
That's why it's more likely not to affect the market a lot today.
Right. Right. Interesting to note. Okay. Well, and there you go. And as I was saying, like I don't look at a lot of these. The employment number, maybe that'll be come up in just a couple of minutes here. 2 minutes. We'll get to that. We'll let you know what that number is live. Consumer confidence is at 10. This composite index, frankly, it really has an impact on the market. And then that's about it. As you can see, it's another light economic day. So it's really going to be focusing our attention for today is the stuff that's gapping up and gapping down. And we're going to look at that and see what we've got on the calendar and what's going to be interesting in the market. So we might as well start with that because I'm seeing some familiar tickers here, including one that we were looking at yesterday, right at the top of this list with SkyX. And if I look, or SkyQ, sorry, SkyQ. And SkyQ is one that we did take a peek at yesterday. Doesn't look like it did much. Pretty quiet day yesterday. I know it was on there earlier. Mike, this thing is on here again. I'm actually pretty surprised. We got 8 million shares traded so far this morning. So it's active. And you can see sort of all this action that happened since about, an hour ago, 7:15. But is there news? Why is this thing even moving?
it's one of those low float type of stocks that just have piqued the interest of people that can push the stock price around, right? There's no major news or catalyst on it, but the company did increase some offering capacity for the market. But other than that, it's just extremely volatile as our low float stock.
Yeah, and what's the float? I didn't look this up on this. This must be a low floatish. Yeah, see, it's got a little under 3 million shares in the float. So, like you said, Mike, this is just the type of stock that people get to push around. So, no wonder it's moving.
Yep.
Probably nothing to see. I'm not going to include this on my list to trade. So, I think we can move on. If you guys like it, by all means. But based on what we saw yesterday, let's go back to the daily. You can see it really didn't move. It wasn't a lot of range yesterday. So pre-market, we've had more range than it did all day yesterday. So yeah, that doesn't give me a lot of confidence this thing is going to give a good move worthy of your time out there. So let's move on to the next one on our list, which is CLYM. Climb? What is this thing? Mike, what is this thing? Why is it here?
The company did have earnings actually. It had $110 million private placement in its capital rise announced this morning. So got some institutional investors in there. The shares have sold at basically $9.50, but it's still kind of pushing the price up higher. No, the news says some large capital institutional funds, but nothing that anybody can kind of remember or hear about. And then again, it's a little bit on the lower end. So just because you have that institutional influx of spending, you're going to see the price move a lot. But I would avoid this just like SkyQ, just low float stock. If this is your thing, though, go for it.
Yeah, it's moving a little bit more than what we saw on SkyQ, but like you said, Mike, it doesn't look great. I'm just flipping between the different charts here. Even on you go down to the 1 minute, you can see all the gaps in the price action, right? So it's really not all that active. So I think we can move on from that. All right, as you can see, we only got a few things on the gap up list today. So we'll go over a bunch of these and see what's interesting because we're getting into some oil stocks. Shell is the next thing that I see on here. I don't know. I don't remember the last time we've tried to pay attention to this one. I see though, interesting. We got Shell. And we've got BP and Oxy all on here. So something must be going on with oil.
Yeah, it's the energy sector that's going on from the Strait of Hormuz. There have been reports that Iran is running out of storage area, so that could increase their willingness to want to open up the strait and try to get shipments out, because once you run out of capacity, right? Once you run out of capacity to store your oil, now you have to stop drilling. And it's not like a light switch, right? Where you can flip the switch off and then turn it back on and you're right back into it. When you shut these things down, it takes some time to get them back up and running. So if you're running out of place to put oil, it's not like you can just keep it pumping and pump it into where you're going to put it, right?
What comes to mind for me, this is showing my age, but makes me think of Kuwait. Remember back in Kuwait when they were trying to shut down oil heads, and basically the pressure just built until they started to blow, right? And then you get all sorts of problems when the well caps blow off. Because yeah, you're right. They've built these things for permanent pumping. Once they get them started, they often don't have the ability to just you can't, like you said, just turn the faucet off. It doesn't quite work that way. So.
And then with Shell specifically, they did announce a major acquisition. They're acquiring a Canadian energy company, ARC Resources, which will add about 370,000 barrels a day production for them. So they do have specific news to their company, but the real energy or the oil sector catalyst today, I think, is still the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, look, the next on our list, I see the first of our earnings stocks, which brings us to the earnings calendar. Guys, we're getting into this week where we have a lot of earnings coming up, and that gives us the opportunity to look at some companies we don't always look at. This morning, we had a couple. The only one that's appearing on our Gap Up list, as you can see, Coca-Cola. We'll talk about it in a second, but if I look across the earnings again, tomorrow, Wednesday, that's the big day when I'm really anticipating some pretty exciting earnings. The big ones, right? Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, all reporting on the same day. So that's going to be a big after hours session. If you're an after hours trader, you've got to be licking your lips. You're excited for tomorrow because that's the big one. The day after the close, we do have Robinhood. There's Teradyne. There's Visa, but they don't trade quite the same way. The big one is going to be, of course, I said after the close tomorrow, and then Thursday we also have Apple. But for today, for this morning, we get to talk Coca-Cola, and it's actually gapping up, which is I don't often see these ones gap up. It seems to me that all of the sort of retail and the drink, anyways, they always seem to gap down. So I guess they sold a heck of a lot of sugar water.
I like how you say a whole heck of a lot of sugar water.
Well,
right?
actually, they probably make more money now off of their bottled water, don't they, than even Coke? I don't even know, but what their product mix is.
Yeah, I think so. From there, what is going on? Oh yeah, they had earnings today, beat top line and beat revenue. They are projecting their future forecast is what really spiked the news, is that they've increased their second quarter earnings forecast. So they're out there. I like trading Coca-Cola. I will actually kind of put that on there. One thing to be aware of if you do trade this stock is it is a slow moving stock, right? So if you do get into this, be prepared for slower movement. I typically when I trade this stock, I typically look for reversals because it will trend, and then in the afternoon it will kind of hit that high of the day, and then it will just slowly trickle off into the close. So that's the setup that I typically look for on Coca-Cola.
Well, and that's a good note. So this does trade on the New York Stock Exchange, and whenever I look at New York Stock Exchange stocks, I always got to remember that it does, because it does change the profile, right? It does move a little bit different. For those of you that haven't been around for a while, I do talk about this a lot. And NYSE stocks have two key characteristics that are different in the way they trade. First and foremost, if you're watching them right at the open, you've got to wait for the volume, because on NASDAQ stocks, right, the volume usually hits immediately. The opening bell rings, we're off to the races, right? Everybody jumps in and the volume goes. NYSE stocks are a little bit different. They actually have human market makers, and they sort of dictate when the day starts, and it's not always right at 9:30. In fact, it's usually 1 or 2 minutes later. They get their orders set. They got some big orders sort of lined up usually, and that you got to wait. You'll see it. You'll see when the volume hits. Wait, because that'll set the direction. No matter what's happening in the first minute or two, wait for that volume. The second thing is, over the course of the day, like Mike says, the pattern setups tend to be a little slower. They work similarly. They work the same. You can actually leverage your same pattern sets, but you've got to you've got to sort of take a longer time frame to let them work out, in my experience. So we'll see what happens on Coca-Cola. I don't mind it either, Mike. I know you used to watch it a lot a couple years ago. I seemed to me it was on your list quite a bit. I haven't heard you talk about it as much recently, but hey, why not? It's got earnings today. I think it's worth considering. We can put this on the list for this morning. And that reminds me, we got to get our list up here and start to look at our what we're going to put on that. So I will get that set up, and we will get that list underway. Other than that, let's see. Let's go back to the earnings calendar and see what else we've got. Oh, that's right. There was one more that I wanted to talk about, because you guys know how much I love Joby. And I saw Joby sitting on the list here this morning, Mike. And it's one of my favorite stocks to not, favorite companies not to do anything with. But I do like watching the stock because I figure this is going to take off sometime soon. Why is it hitting our list here this morning?
It did have earnings, did it not?
I don't know.
No, it didn't have earnings. It actually completed the first real-world electric air taxi flight in New York City in the last 24 hours.
That's the news.
Yep. So I got it. I knew it. Your helicopter that I would no way in my entire life ever get it. Like, I'm sorry, not doing it.
So
no.
No, see, Mike and I think we're agreed on that. That's the news that I had noted, that they had that first ever test flight, and I gotta say, like, it looks sort of cool on the ground. For some reason, I also have this picture. As soon as you put it in the air, for whatever reason, like this picture compared to this picture, to me that looks cool. To me, this looks terrifying. I don't understand why. But in my brain, I'm just like, I picture myself in that, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a toy plane, and there's a guy on the ground with a little controller just going beep, beep, beep. That's not how it works, but that's what I have in my head, and it's scary. I can't do it. You know what? I mean, I'm sure they're doing tests. The FAA's going through all their approvals. They'll certify them as safe, but you go first. Out there.
So Percival over in our chat rooms, like, come on, Mike, it's just an Osprey. So if I was part of an Osprey squadron while I was in the military, and I flew around in Ospreys. And Percival, you are absolutely correct. It is just like an Osprey. And do you know how many Ospreys crashed in the process of the
you are fairly
afterwards? And how many crashed while pilots were there? Like, and how many warnings go off all the time in your headset when you're flying? Yeah, no, not doing that when there's no pilot. Sorry. Nope.
We do need to get you a little closer to the mic.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because
you're not doing it.
You fade fast there when you step away. So.
I need to figure out why my auto gain is going down. So what's happening is my auto gain keeps going down.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you need to turn it off auto.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to do that.
All right, something to figure out. Okay,
something I have to figure out when Eamon's talking, or you're on one of your rants.
Fair enough. Oh, well, I'll have to find a rant then. Okay. Well, let's get busy on that. Okay, so guys, that's all the stuff that was gapping up on the list. Yeah, Joby, I think they look cool. I'm just not getting in one of those crafts. I think, was it Joby? Joby's the one that has the contract with the LA Olympics, right, coming up. So I think that in LA they've got this, and it was either them or it's the other one whose name escapes me right now, who they got a contract to ferry athletes between the airport and the Olympic venues. And I'm thinking, that feels bold, right, for them to book that for LA. But I mean, I hope it works. I hope there's no issues. We don't.
Here's my problem with that. LA, it took them 5 years just to get a people mover from LAX to the parking lot. And they're just now testing it, getting it ready for the World Cup. So all these big fancy plans, mark this day, I am telling you, they're not going to be ready. There is no way that city can do what they are claiming. There's too much red tape out there for them to do.
All right, you heard it here. Mike is saying no, so
I'm saying absolutely not. No way, no chance, no how.
So if you guys know which company had that contract, it was Joby. So that when it gets closer, if that doesn't happen, then look at that stock, right? It'll probably drop. Anyways, just quickly, let's go back to the calendar here. We can take a look and see that number did come out. This ADP employment, the weekly change number, it came out a little bit lower than the previous number. They don't really give me a forecast for this. And if we click in here and look at the details, you can sort of see that week over week, It's been flat for a long time. The number's actually gone up. So this employment change number's been increasing over the last couple of reporting periods. But looking at the market didn't really care. It didn't do much. It didn't really change as a result of that. So I'm not seeing much significance in the number. In the last 15 minutes, the market has been selling off here just a little bit, but I mean it's sort of continuing on the way that it's been going, right? You can see a little bit of a pop and a drop, but yeah, not much to write home at. Let's look at a 1 minute chart. Yeah, not really. This was all the attention it paid to it, right? So that's about it. All right, so. That gives us the economic data update. Let's go back to our gappers, and we get to look at the gap down list. I'm seeing a bunch of what relatively low float stuff. We're probably going to be able to whip through a bunch of these and get to some of the interesting stuff because we do have at least one earnings on the gap down list that we'll talk about. And we are going to, get to that in a minute. Let's start with the thing at the top of the list. Even though it's got low volume, we're going to talk about VISN, and this VISN looks horrible in the pre-market trading. Not a surprise. It's only traded 270,000 shares, which is not a lot of volume, but look at this gap down. This is down. It's half the price it closed at yesterday. Yesterday, it was a $19.50 stock, 53 cents to be exact when it closed. Today, it's opening, looks like well less than $10 at $9.70 roughly. Mike, as Carlos would say, who's getting fired?
Who's getting fired? Oh, I'll tell you who's getting fired. Somebody in the stock, president or CEO. Again, low float carriers, low float stock, so getting pushed around. Had some bad news come out. I can't quite find what the actual news is, but
you're not telling me who's getting fired then.
Yeah, I'm not telling you who's getting fired. Let me see if I can find.
Let's see.
Find on another website that I got.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any news either. Normally, I get some good news. This is a big drop for something.
They paid a $10 dividend. That's why it's gapping down.
When
you pay dividends, the price drops down by that amount, and that's why it's recovering. But to be honest, it's not that big of a company right now, and it's more of technical price action. But
okay.
Yeah, this is just a price adjustment. This is just a price adjustment after paying the dividends.
Okay.
There you go. That's thank you, Eamon. You're right. They actually did pay a big dividend, what they call an X dividend, and that means that it sort of comes out of the stock price. Being that big dividend came out, that makes sense. So there you go. So mystery solved. That means that really this thing is not tradable for the morning. So we can
Nobody's getting fired.
Nobody's getting fired. There you go. Okay. Well, that's good for them, I guess. All right. So let's look at the next thing on our list, which is ERAS, Eraska Inc. This is almost 3 million shares traded here this morning, although the price action is looking relatively flat in the last 30, 45 minutes here. Mike, is there any interesting news that might make us want to pay attention to Eraska Inc.?
Absolutely not. Just another one of those weird stocks that are there, low float. Actually, this is not a low float stock, believe it or not.
I
think they had earnings.
Yeah. I see that they had this is why it's really dropping. They had a phase 1 study on one of their drugs, something called ERAS 0015, and they had a death. They had a treatment-related death because of this study, and that's never good. When you're testing a drug and somebody dies, that's problematic. So that would explain. In fact, they're I would say they're doing pretty well for the stock to only be down 42% to have usually with a death on a drug trial, it is very, very problematic. So that makes sense. Let's see here. The volume, I said it. The volume's okay. These are tough ones to trade. Again, these biotechs, I find them just difficult. Now, I like on a daily, if you look at where this sits, there's room to go down because this thing started a big climb here back right at the beginning of the year. For some reason, right at the beginning of January, this thing took off, started to get more volume, and more price action. So we know the price this could go down to is just under $4 here. So there's room to move. This one, if you like the low floats, this might be one to look at for you this morning. I'm going to put this on our popcorn list just so we've got it here and we don't forget. We could set some levels and take a look at it. Bad news here. Unfortunate on the death, but there, trading opportunity. There may be one. So we'll see. And Mike, that auto gain was kicking in again when you were talking a second ago.
Yeah. I at least changed the microphone to pick up the right one, but hopefully the auto gain will stay off. If not,
all right.
I'll set up a mirror so I can see when the lights go down. And then I'll just
flip the mic around.
Yep.
There you go. Anyways, okay, the next one on our list is Rambus Inc., which is one of those semiconductor stocks we never talk about. It's a relatively small company. They only do about $700 million in revenue a year. I love nowadays how my expectation is so high. $700 million in revenue, you are a nothing company. You mean nothing to me. But anyways, they are gapping down here fairly significantly, 18% this morning. Low volume though, 260,000 shares. Mike, looks like they did have earnings, these guys.
Yes, they did have earnings. Their results were mixed. They slightly missed on expectations, and their estimates are mixed as well. So not good news coming out of them. It had rallied recently in the past, and because when you rally, right, and then you miss your earnings or your expectations, it's time to sell your shares and book those gains. So right. Expectations were high, didn't make it, so now you're going down.
Results were low. Okay, well that happens. Okay, I don't like the look of them, guys. It's not really trading. Again, that low volume means that it's not a great target for us this morning. If I go back, let's take a look at the gappers list one more time. And I see, there's a bunch of stuff on here, but I'm not seeing great stuff. We can talk about some of it. I'm surprised to see Oracle on the list, but I noticed Spotify a little higher on the list here. And I know that Spotify definitely had some earnings and are worth talking about. In fact, Eamon's got some detail on Spotify that maybe, Eamon, I can give you a chance, because I realized we missed an important part of your data as well, which we're going to come back to, because we didn't talk about what happened yesterday. You got like a summary of yesterday.
I forgot what happened yesterday. There is a lot of things that are interesting happening right now.
No, well, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's talk Spotify first, because Spotify had earnings last night. Tell us what happened on their earnings.
Yeah, Spotify is actually an interesting one. I was keeping an eye on this thing. It actually had a strong quarter. They are now above 760 million users. Revenue came in solid, and most importantly, the margins keep improving, and that's really good for them. A couple of years ago, Spotify was all about growth. It was about adding users, expanding globally, but it was not making a lot of money. And now that's changing. Margins are moving in from below 25% to over 30%, which is a big shift for this company. So it's no longer just a growth company. Right now, it's becoming more of profitable company. But look at this catch. All of these good news, and it still gapped down and it still dropped. Why is that? Because companies like this, they care more about forward expectations, and the forward expectation on Spotify was softer. The subscriber growth wasn't as strong as it hoped. It was good, but it wasn't as strong as hoped. And the outlook for the next quarter is not exciting. So this quarter was amazing, but the outlook for the next quarter is not that exciting. And this is why the stock reaction was not great. Overall, strong execution, but market now, especially in these days with the AI and everything, it's more focused on what comes next, and people are really are thinking smart about where to put their money. And that's really the key question here. Not whether Spotify can grow, but how profitable that growth can be going forward.
And that makes sense, Eamon, and thank you for that. Yeah, Spotify is definitely down. It's well below all of its consolidation range since the beginning of February when it was a little lower. So we got some good levels to set on this. Spotify's volume fairly low this morning, only 400,000 shares. However, this is also a NYSE stock. And when, like I said earlier, when you get those NYSE stocks, sometimes you got to wait for that volume, right? And it doesn't always happen pre-market. So I don't mind this. I don't know, Mike, if you're any different than I am. I've rarely traded this. Like I sometimes get excited. I think that it might be a good one. It often lets me down. So
it lets me down because I don't like how the spread acts on the stock, especially during the open. The spread, although it's not huge when it occurs, it jumps a lot. Right. So what I mean by that is you go from 5 cents to 30 cents to 15 cents to 12 cents to even sometimes up to $1. And that's where I have a problem with it. Right. Is that I can't make accurate decisions on my entry regarding risk to reward because I don't know what the spread is going to be when I get filled. And that is what causes me a problem. I just stay away from it. I'm not crazy. It's just me. So, but maybe with the news today, maybe it'll stabilize. You never know.
There you go. Maybe. It's funny. I was just trying to call up the spread on my platform. Guys, keep your software up to date. I'll tell you. I didn't realize that I automatically I've got a brand new computer here, so this thing is state of the art. But the software I'm running is not, because the last software that I managed to save, I just pulled up the image of my trading platform, and it said, oh, yeah, there's a new update available. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just went to look. The spread. I'm like, why is the spread data not there? Why can't I call it up? I looked. I'm using a build that was published in 2018. So I'm using an 8-year-old version of the software. Yeah. Apparently I need to update this. So, all right, that's something I've got to get to. This morning could be interesting because I could go to trade and find that there's functionality that's not available that I think is going to be available. Actually, why am I in my test account?
Just wanted to let you know, Peter, Jared is back up and running. So,
that's right.
Jared he was having some internet stuff going on. So,
and
he is good for engineering the markets now.
Well, that's good to remind us, because I forgot even that we were needed to give the room back to him. So that's maybe a good note for us here. So the three of us are going to continue in YouTube, but for those in the chat room, well, you know what? Jared's going to be joining you in just a second, so we'll hand the room over to him. And of course, you're going to be live trading in there with Brian and with Andrew a little bit later this morning. So enjoy that. And we'll see how things go this morning. All right. So take care in the chat room, YouTube. Let's keep the show going. All right. Well, here we go. Let's take a look at this gappers list. Like I said, is there anything else that we want to talk about? I just picked Spotify.
Yes.
Well, Mike. Yeah. What are you looking at? What do you want to talk about?
So Oracle actually is gapping down, Peter, off of the OpenAI news. So OpenAI had failed to meet internal users and sales, which is causing concerns about its ability to sustain spending on the AI infrastructure. So their partners, SoftBank and Oracle, are both falling on this. It's also dragging down Google and the other big tech firms that have heavily invested in it, which in turn, right, NASDAQ 100, heavily tech sector, is driving the market down. So that is the big news catalyst today that is having the impact on the market, is that OpenAI.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't even scroll down on the gap down list to realize how far it goes. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff gapping down. Now, like you sort of just pointing out, we can't directly trade OpenAI. This is not a publicly traded interest. But is this it? Is this the crack in the armor we were looking at in AI? Is this a sign that maybe the end is upon us? I mean, people are questioning as to whether it's a bubble or not. I firmly have believed it's a bubble. Now, again, there's validity. AI is a real and valuable tool, and it's going to continue. But just sort of like the internet, right? When we had the internet bubble, or crypto, and like all these things sort of got the bubble. They were frothy, which means that some people's bubbles are going to burst, and others will continue to make money and find value out of it. We'll just have to see who is who, and it looks like OpenAI maybe is the first one to show some signs of weakness. So, Mike, do you think what are the best stocks to get in on this or to trade this with? I mean, I see Oracle on the list.
Or Oracle's going to probably be your best stock to trade this news, right? Because it's going to be correlated with the news, as they're an investor in OpenAI and a big partner with them. The other one, I would be looking probably Google. NVIDIA is probably also going to be impacted along with any chip sector stocks, because once you start saying, hey, users aren't there, the supply demand decreases, which in turn starts to affect the forecasts of these companies that have put out big, large numbers. So
right. And it would make sense to me that also affect, of course, the chip companies, which are the top end of this, providing all the supply. So
it could be a bloodbath today. Could be a big bloodbath. I mean, we are at all-time highs, and when you're at all-time highs, the market looks for reasons to sell off, to kind of, whether it's just a short sustained sell-off to get back down so that it can get some more supply and market makers supply to push it higher. But you never know. Do I think this is the end of the world? No, not the end of the world, but I do think that we're going to see some selling today. So,
yeah. So it looks like there's a bunch of things to pay attention to. So some usual suspects here. I like what you're suggesting. I'm going to move to the top of the list, Oracle, and of course, I think we got to look at NVIDIA as a result of that. So I'm going to put Oracle on the list. I know I was just checking out NVIDIA here quickly. I noticed it's down here this morning as well. Yep. Not drastically, but 3%. On good volume, by the way, almost 11 million shares traded on NVIDIA. So there's no question this is in play today and being affected. So with that, maybe we could take a quick pause here and let's go back and take a look at yesterday, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened yesterday, and it's sometimes good to understand what happened yesterday to know where we're going today. And I know, Eamon, you put together some good materials so we can do a quick review of yesterday's trading action.
Yeah, I thought we can do a quick recap on the second day about whatever happened on the previous day, because that has a lot of impact on the trading day. And yesterday, the market made new highs again, but not by much, especially if you compare it to all the previous days. S&P and Nasdaq closed at record highs. The Dow lagged a bit. Oil moved higher, which is something to keep an eye on. On the stock side, Verizon was one of the big winners. Strong earnings, beat and raised guidance, but then sold off during the open. And again, getting back to expectations. However, it did close above the previous day close, which should be telling us something. I was talking about Domino's because I was watching it while eating pizza. It's down over 10% after missing earnings, which is not good for them, but the pizza is still good. I mean, not an ad, nothing.
And I forgot about that. You because you trade in such a different time zone, you could actually legitimately eat pizza while trading. I was thinking like you're having pizza for breakfast, but I guess it's not breakfast for you, is it?
Exactly. See, I'm good with that. Exactly.
Yeah.
You've never had pizza for breakfast?
Well, I mean,
I feel sad for you, Peter. Next time we meet, I'll get you pizza for breakfast.
But I couldn't order a fresh pizza for breakfast. The pizza places aren't open.
Yeah, but true. That's true. You can't order
pizza.
it.
They're open 24 hours in Russia.
What? No.
They're open 24 hours.
Really? You can get 24 hours.
I told they're probably hurting. They're probably hurting. That's why they're working 24 hours. But still, I mean, pizza's good.
Who orders a pizza at 6 a.m.? That can't be a very busy time for them. All right. Well,
well, Yeah, I mean, let's get back to the macro side. I mean, on the
All
macro side,
right. I find that
Sorry,
fascinating.
sorry.
Okay, anyway,
yeah,
yeah.
before I forget what we have there.
We
Anyway, guys,
digress.
so on the macro side, there was talk about reopening the Strait of Hormuz, but the market did not really buy it. We've had these talks a lot previously. Oil still moved higher, so that tells you that there is still some tension. There were a couple good quick headlines. United tried to merge with American Airlines, but that got rejected immediately, so that story probably is not over. And Bitcoin pulled back slightly, still well below its highs, but I don't think the strength of crypto is confirmed yet. We're seeing it trying to make that momentum, but probably it's going to happen anytime soon. Overall, the markets are strong on the surface, but underneath it's mixed. And if you take a look at the market today, it's down, right? I mean, the SPY is slowly selling off. During the pre-market, we see some weakness, and I think this is coming because of three things: oil is rising, earnings are mixed with some weak guidances, and the market is positioning ahead of the Fed, which is going to happen tomorrow, right? I think tomorrow we're having the FOMC minutes. So after making new highs like we did for the last few days, traders always look for a reason to sell, and Mike has mentioned that. Especially with so much uncertainty that's going to happen in 24 hours. We're at all-time highs, a lot of mixed earnings, a lot of tension. Market could just dump and people are securing their profits. So like I was saying, strong at the top, but everything is participating underneath.
Right, and that brings us to sort of what's going to be happening today. So you've got this, what everyone's making tomorrow, and so tell us your thoughts here.
Well, I was also doing a small research on the social media just to get updated, which is something that I did not do in the past because as day traders were more focused on technicals, but I know that it's still important to be updated, be up to date with the news and everything. And one of the most important things that we see in the market pulse is that the Fed decision tomorrow is not the story everyone expects to hold, right? The real trade is what Powell says about what comes next, and that's where the market is split. On one side, you got people who are expecting rate cuts later this year, saying the economy will slow down and force the Fed to ease. And on the other side, some say inflation is still too high, especially with oil moving up. So the rates may stay high for longer, maybe even go higher later. So right now, the market is sitting somewhere in the middle, and that's the key risk. It's not the decision, it's the message. If Powell sounds less supportive than people expect, the market can react quickly, especially with S&P already sitting at the highs. Now, bringing back to today, consumer confidence at 10 a.m., like we said, it's not going to affect the market so much, but it's still important. It's the last big data point before Powell speaks. If it comes in weak, it supports the idea of the cuts, and the market may move higher. If it comes in strong, it gives Powell a reason to stay firm, and the market could struggle. So heading into today, expectations are doing most of the work. Small changes can leap into big moves. Half of the market is positioned for the cuts, and half isn't. So tomorrow we'll see what's going to happen and who is wrong.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Eamon, and that gives us an overview of the market. Going back to the gappers, I said I want to see if anything's changed. Nothing much has changed on the gap up list. We still have the same few candidates here. The gap down just keeps getting longer and longer. So really, this market is pushing down. If we look at the overall market indices, you can look at either the SPY or the Qs. I always like to start with the daily view, and yeah, don't forget. Look, we're still way up here. Right? We're still up in all-time high territory. However, if we just look at it this morning, we're definitely on the way down. So we're gapping down about 0.5% this morning on the SPY, and we're gapping down about 1% on the Qs. So tech taking a little bit bigger hit than the market overall. And like we said, with the news on OpenAI, that's not unexpected. It makes sense to me. And like Mike said, probably the top two to watch here are Oracle and, in my opinion, NVIDIA. We'll see where it goes. Don't forget, I mean, everybody was so eager to invest in OpenAI. I mean, just earlier this week and last week, we were hearing news from Amazon, Meta, Google,
Cool.
Microsoft, right? All making investments and, in fact, increased their investments significantly by tens of billions of dollars. And for OpenAI to come out with this news now is not good. And I was just talking yesterday about the fact that Elon is taking Sam Altman to court for a breach of faith because, remember, OpenAI was supposed to be, well, it was originally a not-for-profit, and then October of last year, he changed the corporate mandate and made it a for-profit organization. And boy, did they ever profit. So it looks like maybe he over-profited. We'll see how this shakes up the market because people have got to be a little concerned, right? As soon as you see the dropping of utilization and user base. The other thing that I've noticed, I mean, my use of it has dropped because they also went for a charge-based model, right? Where I used to be able to generate images and opinions and stuff, and it would do it for me for free. And then they said I have to sign up for a subscription to get any of that stuff that I was getting for free. So I'm like, fine, I'm just not going to use it, right? There's lots of options out there. You could find an AI tool under every rock. Everybody's throwing their AI tools at you. So I'm like, you want me to pay? No, thanks. I'm out. So I got to imagine I'm not alone.
Gemini. You got Gemini. You got all these other AI tools out there that you can use that are free. Why pay a subscription to it? So
well, like we just said, right? Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, they're all throwing their AI tools at you saying, use me, right? Use mine. So yeah, why would I pay for any one of them? I mean, I'll just keep going to the one that's going to give me stuff for free. And if you're going to cut it off, that's cool. I get it, right? You're not doing it for charity anymore. But
yeah, and you got Copilot that comes right with your new computer, Peter.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
It's there. So
I mean, my browser is telling me to ask Gemini right here, like you said. So it's what it is. We don't have to worry about it. All right. So, guys, I think the big news is on this OpenAI. It's really going to be moving the market overall. How about you there in the chat? Anything that you've got out there on YouTube that you want us to take a look at? We'll take a peek at that. Again, I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff that we often look at. CoreWeave is on the list, right? Gapping down. Novartis, I mean, they've been on our list the last few days, moving. They're gapping down with the market. I mean, the story is the same. So many of these things moving down. Intel, which was flying high at their all-time highs. I think it was it just yesterday they were hitting. Just yesterday they hit new all-time highs.
All-time highs
again. And today, look at this gap, right? Intel's got a lot to lose here because they got a big gap here to drop after earnings to get down. So, yeah, it could be dangerous for Intel if the market really sort of starts to go negative. Again, in about 33 minutes, right, when this market opens, we've got to really pay attention to how the market sentiment's going to be because we could start seeing things slide significantly. So Intel might actually be worth watching just because of that gap too. I don't know. I think I should put it on the list. You know what? My list is getting big. You know what? I'm going to put it on the secondary list here just because it doesn't trade quite as well. But after how much it's moved up, it's one of those where I feel like we really should be watching to see if it's going to gap down. So there you go. We'll throw that on the secondary. Okay. I was asking you guys what you're looking at. PLTR. Okay. So there's one that not directly impacted here. With the OpenAI news, PLTR I'm seeing is only down by 0.2%. It's holding its own here. It's just below yesterday's close, 750,000 shares. I don't see anything huge going on in this, so it looks like it's just moving on its merry way. So it's okay. ON you're mentioning. This is the ON Semiconductor.
We also have Now, and I pulled up Now, and I'll get to ON after that. But Now was brought up by Ben, and they have earnings. They're actually moving up. They had strong results, raised their guidance, beat on revenue, as well as earnings per share. So if this is your type of stock, it definitely has a catalyst that's driving it up. So it's there.
Okay. That's Service
and
Now. Yeah.
And just I'll tell you in a sec, Peter. Sorry.
Were you going to
I'm
go to
almost there.
ON? That was the other one that you said.
ON. Oh yeah, ON. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. ON is our other thing. Sorry, I was in a trading the MES, so I almost got out of my position.
Mike's
I
taking
was
trades
almost
as we
there.
talk. I love it.
Yep, trades as we talk. So hopefully I'll get one more tick up and I can get out of it. But ON as well had earnings. Semiconductor. So even though they're in the semi field, they are moving upwards. Oh, sorry, not ON. They had mixed guidance. Let's see what ON is doing on the chart. I've mixed them up with now. ON kind of gapped down overnight. Not a lot of volume in this one though, so I would stay away. It is earnings driven, but again, you're going to get moved around here and there off of this one. And
Yeah.
I did just get out of MES for a nice bounce off the lows on that. So
Okay.
good.
Mike,
Oh, you have
Mike
a screen of
taking
mine,
some
don't
trades.
you? Do you have a screen of mine?
Not yet. But I mean, it's out there. You're sharing your trade? We can show
Yeah.
that. Here, look, there's your trade right there.
So we took this little bounce, had a nice volume down here as the market sold off, found a low here, and so we just took an entry here, placed a stop, and then rode it up to 71.70, which is on the MES. It's yesterday's, just below 2 days ago's low. So get done early while
There you
I'm
go.
trading. Isn't
Nice.
that the purpose, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
do the pre-market show, take some trades.
Why not? Mike's taking some trades. All right, why don't we flip over quickly to some economic data since it just came out? We do have the S&P HPI Composite Index, so that number came out both the month over month and the year over year, and you can see here higher than it's higher than it has been, lower than the forecast though. 1.1% was the expected forecast. 0.9% is the actual number that was delivered. Again, the market doesn't pay a lot of attention to this, but I thought I would mention it. I mean, the news. This is nowhere going to do. It's not going to displace all the concerning news from OpenAI and what that's doing to the market. That being said, the market is bouncing. If I look at just the last few minutes here, we're getting a little bit of a bounce up here in the market. So we'll see what that means. Maybe it won't be all doom and gloom at the open. All right, now it's 9 o'clock, which means that not only did we have that news, but usually this is when we let Eamon go. But before we let him go, I wanted to give him a chance because he's prepared some fun facts for us here for today, Eamon, as you do every day. So let me get your fun fact up here, and maybe you can just cut to that before you take off.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, small facts, train our brains, get smarter every day, and learn something new. So, UPS cut 48,000 jobs in 2021 and shut down nearly 200 facilities. I think it was a major move to get rid of lower margin business, especially tied to Amazon. So while this looks negative, it's really about improving efficiency and protecting margins. On the other side, Coca-Cola, and they had their earnings today, they have raised their dividend for 64 consecutive years. Can you imagine that? That's through recessions, wars, inflations, everything. It's one of the clearest examples of consistency in the market. And I was saying, doesn't matter what's going on, inflations, wars, etc. People always drink Coke. The only difference is whether you pay $1 for it or $3 for it, right?
Well, and
anyway,
they've expanded, of course. Now they sell a lot of water. Like we said, bottled water has become a big part of their business as well. So yeah. Okay. Well,
they
there
know
you
their
go.
business.
Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it's literally consistency, and they know their job. I mean, they're doing really good. Oh yeah, last part. Back in 1789, the crew of the Bounty they rebelled and abandoned their captain in the middle of the ocean. It happened also on the 28th of April, like today. They thought they were right, and he ended up navigating thousands of miles, literally using the simplest tools out there from the middle of the ocean, proving that he was the most capable of his crew. And the lesson here is simple. Markets do not break when people are unsure, they break when everyone agrees. So if you look at parts of today's market, especially in the AI, and the same is, the sentiment is very strong one-sided. Everybody thinks that the AI is the hit, the AI is going to all-time high, the AI is going to be it for now. So it's not about calling a top or anything. It's about being aware of the positioning and managing the risk accordingly. Don't be blind-sided with the mass. Do your part, thinking, and manage your risk.
There you go. That's some wise advice from Eamon. So, Eamon, thanks for that. You're going to be back after the open trading at around 11 o'clock, so we appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. So take care, and we'll see you in a bit.
Exactly. See you soon,
Take
guys.
care,
Bye-bye.
Eamon.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys, let's get back to these markets and take a look what's going on. As said, as we get closer, we're only 25 minutes away from this market open. Again, the list seems pretty easy to me today. You know, again, we've got everything focused around this OpenAI news. We're going to have to see how that trades. A couple of earnings that you can see I've put on the bottom on my list here in Coca-Cola and Spotify. And then Joby just for fun, to be honest. I don't think this Eras, I probably shouldn't even, I should probably have Joby over on the popcorn side of it, because it's not really a serious trade for me. It's just one that I like to observe, because I just find it fascinating that people are going to get in these things and where it's going to go. So there you go. We'll update that.
Interesting. We have Mo out on YouTube mentioned Apple, and Apple is actually green on the day. Been moving quite nicely this morning. So no kind of news on it, but it is defying the overall market. So this could be something to keep an eye on. I will definitely be watching Apple. It will be off to the side to see if it can maintain this momentum,
Right.
while the rest of the market's selling off. So sometimes it's good to trade things that aren't impacted by the market. So.
That's true, right? Sometimes if you go not against the market, but you trade, like you said, something that's just not moving with the flow, you can get good trades, because it's moving, you know, based on its own momentum, and you can sort of rely on that independence. Apple's one of those that can. I mean, we saw for weeks Apple always did the opposite. Whatever the market did, it was doing the opposite, and then it sort of fell back into a market pattern I found in the last week and a half. So maybe today it's declaring its independence once again. And we'll see what it does. Like you said, gapping up here a little bit. We're still, if you look at the pattern over the last couple of days, let's look at even a 60-minute chart on this. You can see that we've got room to the top side for Apple to trade. So yeah, it's a good candidate. Yeah. And with the price action we're seeing so far, that might be worth keeping an eye on. So you know, we got a lot of maybes out there. Let me put this on the secondary list down here with Intel. Just because you know, I do like Apple. On the right day, Apple can be great. So
yeah, and this could be a little bit of positioning before earnings, because it does have earnings coming up, but it's just not moving with the market. And on some days when the market is just impacting everything, it's good to have that one stock that is not. Right, that's just off to the side that you can trade.
Fair enough. Yeah, agreed. So okay, so there you go, guys. We got a few things to look at here. You know, and we're talking about the news in the markets. You know, I had a whole lot of news out there that it wasn't directly market related, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning. Mike, you know, you were looking for a rant. If ever there was an opportunity for a rant, I think this is it. There is a case going into the Supreme Court in the U.S. right now where the local number of different law enforcement agencies have made a request for cell phone location data, and this is hitting right now because I guess there's a court case where the police arrested somebody by tracking their cell phone in a crowd of people at the scene. and we're able to identify the perpetrator, and they're bringing them to court right now. The question before the courts, though, is, was that legal? Even though they're catching, a criminal, can you just use your location data on your cell phone without a specific warrant? Because previously, you've always needed a warrant for the phone specifically. It's like tapping, right? We know that you can't tap anybody's phone. You need a warrant, right, to say specifically that you're allowed to tap that phone. And usually it's for specific conversations even. Right, and for specific activity. In this case, right, location data is not specific to any activity. They could just track where you are. And we all know our phones track us. They know what we're doing. They know what we're saying. And they certainly know all the data that you're putting into it. So, should law enforcement be able to have access to that? I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, the U.S. will set some precedent. What's your thought, Mike?
My thought is everybody knows where I'm at anyways.
Okay.
Like here's the other thing. If you're a criminal and you're bringing your cell phone with you, you're an idiot to begin with and deserve to be caught. Because if you don't realize that your cell phone listens to you, tracks you, records you, like just open it up and say something, that all of a sudden all the ads that you ever get are from there. You're just stupid. Why would you bring that with you? There is a specific reason why in the military they won't let you bring cell phones into secure places. So, but I do agree with you, Peter. Like, all jokes aside, like, hey, you're the police. You need to ask for permission. Google even has to ask for permission, right? In their disclosure that you just click accept and never read, right?
Right.
And you give them permission to do that. But yeah. I do agree with you. I think you have to have some reason to get that phone data, or you have to have permission from the person, right? Stay out of my life.
I thank goodness. I thought you were going down the other road.
No,
so you could. What the heck? You can have it because there's all the privacy and the concern over that. Yeah, I think they should ask for it because then you get the other side risk, right, Mike? Like, let's say we're standing in an office and I'm on the other side of a piece of drywall with my phone, minding my own business, and you're without your phone on the other side and decide to kill somebody, and the police say, "Well, look, I see Peter with his phone. He must have done it." And they can't tell that I'm on the other side of the drywall. I had nothing to do with this thing. So, like that's you gotta anyways, there's always a give and take.
Yeah, there's always a give and take. And you know what this brought me up, and this I guess will be kind of my little rant that goes off.
Mike rant.
Yeah, it's kind of a mic rant. Remember back, or conspiracy theory, whichever one you want to go with, right? If you remember way back, remember that the federal government was trying to force Apple to open up somebody's phone that they thought were a criminal. And that was back when Apple only had the keypad, right? And if you put the number in 10 times, it erases the data, and Apple's like, we're not doing it. We are not going to do that. That is not something that we want to get into because it's a secure and on and on. But if you notice, they came to an agreement, and a year later, what do you have now on your phone to open your Apple phone? Facial recognition.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you no longer, I try not to use facial recognition because what can the police now do? They can just use your face to unlock it.
That they can. So,
right.
All right.
So that's my conspiracy theory. If you don't think that the police and the government are in, or the police, government, and the tech companies aren't in cahoots, you're crazy. So if you're a criminal out there, point of the story, if you're a criminal out there, leave your phone at home when you do bad stuff.
I like how we're providing the criminal element some helpful advice. That's very kind of us. Okay. All right. There you go. So, look, I had a whole series of news that it seemed like all the interesting news was coming out of the UK for whatever reason this morning. So, start with the fact that Prince, or I guess he's not Prince Charles, King Charles. King Charles and Queen Camilla are visiting the U.S., so there they are at the White House with Trump and Melania, and I like how Trump is pointing out here, stand on this spot. And if you actually zoom in, there's like their names are written on the red carpet. Anyways, so there they are, and apparently this is the first time since, what did I read, 2007 or something, that they're doing this type of tour, anyways, in the U.S., so here they are. They're going on a walkabout. So the king and queen of the UK are doing a walkabout in the US. So good for them. Meanwhile, back in the UK, they have created the world's longest or tallest tiramisu. This is news that you need to know. So apparently they need to measure the height of the tiramisu and its thickness, and they didn't put it out in a long line. They actually put it on this table, so you actually count the lines back and forth and back and forth. But apparently it's 1,445 feet long, which is 400 feet longer or taller than the tallest building in London. So there you go. So in London, they got together with hundreds of chefs, and they all made this tiramisu, so they now have a world record for the biggest tiramisu. So if you're hungry, you know where to go. Is it gluten-free? Probably not. No, because it's all ladyfingers. Oh. Lots of gluten in those ladyfingers. So there you go. So here you go. You're asking a good question, but why? I think the only answer is because they can. I don't really. They wanted to beat a world record. Other than that, I don't see any reason for this. But yeah, there you go. The world's longest tiramisu.
I hope they gave that out to somebody.
Yeah, I assume that they ate it. I assume all these people you see here at least had a bite, right? And plus others.
Yeah.
So
maybe. That's a lot of tiramisu.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then from the longest, and why tiramisu? Like, why not the world's longest pound cake? I mean, it is the UK. Like, why'd they go with an Italian dessert? Anyways, I don't know. That's what they did. But let's go from the longest to the shortest. And if you're interested in the shortest, the UK also has the world's shortest commercial flight. And it's up in Scotland between Westray and Papa Westray Islands. And it's only 1.7 miles or 2.7 kilometers long, this commercial flight. It takes less than a minute. So that is a very short. In fact, just to give you an idea how short that flight is, wow. if you went from Edinburgh to this airport, the runway, the Edinburgh runway, is longer than this flight. But the reason why they actually have a flight between these two islands is apparently the ocean is so choppy and the weather is generally so bad that they can't get regular ferry service. It's too dangerous to ply those waters between the two islands. So that's why they have a flight. And you can only fly one way on Saturday, and you have to fly back on a Sunday. So apparently some people do it for the tourism, but if you do it, be prepared to spend a day on Papa Westray Island, because you're not getting back without waiting the next day for your flight. So there you go. What meal do they serve? Can you imagine trying to be the flight attendant on this? It's less than a minute. Like, I mean, they must hit a height of like 500 feet. Like, how high do you bother going when you know, like, yeah, you're literally. Yeah,
you're just.
You get high enough to miss the waves, right? Like, that's really about it. Anyways, there you go. All right, so there you go. The longest and the shortest happening in the UK today for whatever reason. So, all right, let's get back to these markets, guys. We've got, again, a bunch of stuff that we're watching. I keep scanning here this gappers list. Again, the gap up is remarkably stable. Like, there's not much going on. How about Pfizer? Pfizer jumped onto it.
Yes. So I'm going to cut you off, Peter, because it's 9:18 and we got 12 minutes till the market opens. Mm-hmm. And do you want to do what we got going on today and then you do levels? Or
we could
do you want to still keep talking gappers?
Well, we come back and look at Pfizer, because Pfizer looks like it had some news a couple of minutes ago. Let's come back and find out what that news was, because it really just spiked and then dropped back down. So let's do that. We can get into the bearable trading community here and tell you what's going on. If you go into Bearable Traders and you look at the schedule of events, you got to go down here to Tuesday, and we can see what's what's happening with that. Mike, why don't you give us that rundown?
Absolutely. And I bet you Peter's going to get surprised today because he has a 1 to 10
Oh.
strategy webinar that he agreed to do that for some reason never appeared on our website until somebody mentioned it to me yesterday. So Peter,
how
I hope
exciting.
you're ready for that. I hope you are ready for that.
I'm ready.
I'm sure he is. So he'll be talking about the 1 to 10. What else are you going to be talking about, Peter, during that webinar, since it's yours?
Well, it's a 1 to 10, so we'll talk about that strategy, how it works. We haven't been seeing it as much recently, and Mike sort of coined the 1 to 5 because, we get the different price action. But we'll talk about how it sets up and what it looks like, and it's a good opportunity to talk about how do you develop a new strategy? What does it look like? So I'll tell you about, how I came up with this. It's a weird strategy, right? It's very specific. It happens exactly at 10 minutes before the close at 3:50 p.m. So we'll sort of go into the background and what it is, why it works, and what you can do to identify your own strategies in the future. So that'll be tonight's webinar, 8 o'clock for all of our elite members in the webinar room.
Yep. And then next week on Tuesday, we'll have Jared, who's going to be talking intraday debit verticals. So if you're an options trader, he'll talk about how you can scalp and position those strategies. So that's going to be a great webinar. I'm going to look forward to listening to that. And then if you're new to Bearable Traders and new to Dash Trader Pro, Brendan is hosting his session today at noon in the webinar or onboarding room. Sorry, let me correct. Onboarding room. If you try to go to the webinar room, you'll be highly disappointed. You'll be like, Brendan didn't do it. And then I email Brendan and Brendan says, I did it. And I go, oh, they must have gone to the webinar room. So onboarding room, any level of membership, you have to be a member of BBT, but you can get into there and he will give you all the ins and outs of DAS. And I'm telling you, I've been using it for 6-7 years and I still don't know everything about the program. So it's great.
There you go. If you want to join, don't forget, guys, to be a member of the Bearable Trading community. All you have to do is go to the website, bearabletraders.com, and you can find the different membership options. Kick the tires with the intro. It's a great way to find out if this is the community for you. And we think you're going to be convinced that you then want to join as an elite member. So either the pro or elite memberships give you access to all of those webinars we were just talking about. Your best deal, of course, is the one you can see on the far right, which is the $99 a month. It's the same as what you get on the pro, but you're just committing for a year. That's why it's cheaper. So make that commitment rather than going month to month, and you get a 50% discount off of that casual monthly price. So go to bearabletraders.com. You can join. Here you go. Don't trade alone. Trade with us in the community. It's just a great group of people. Not only do you have the moderators who are there live, and you can see Andrew is in here, right? You've got Brian. They're both trading. Brian's on the road and still dialing in and trading. But you got all of this conversation and all of the members who are in the chat room actively every single day. So hopefully you will join us there. All right, Mike, I said I'd come back to Pfizer. And Pfizer, as I said, it looks like it had some news just a few minutes ago. And it seems like it's related to a positive results on a breast cancer trial. So they had a phase 3 study that had some very positive data coming out of it. And I can't even pronounce this thing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even trying.
Oh, I really want to, but I can't. Like, the guys, this is like impossible. What the hell? I can't even.
You're going to have to shorten that. Why do they come up with names like this? I don't understand.
I know. I swear somebody just put a bunch of letters into a blender and said, "Look, here's a word. Let's make up a word." What the heck is this? Hold on, I got to look this up. See if there's another term for it. Metastatic breast cancer. Okay, well that's It's a therapeutic strategy to attack metastatic breast cancer. All right, that's all I know. One starts with a Z, the other one starts with an A, and they're just like ridiculously complicated words. So whatever it is, Pfizer got a little bit of a boost. So if you like that type of news, Pfizer's a hard one to trade. A lot of the companies that get positive drug news that we see, they're smaller biotechs, right? And they cause stocks to move. But hey, if you come out curing cancer of any form, right? Like that's the old, like sort of the joke almost, right? Are you curing cancer? Well, in this case, it looks like they might be.
Yeah.
Well, they're treating it. They're not curing it. They're treating it. So, but we can hope they get there. So anyways, Pfizer got a good bump as a result of that. And that's why they jumped up onto our gap up list. Going back to the gappers, like we were saying. The gap up, though, pretty static, right? A lot of the stuff's just been on there all morning. I'm not going to be watching Pfizer despite that. We're going to keep the list at the same as what we had before. But the gap down, my goodness, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Like this market is sort of feeling a little negative this morning and is absolutely gapping down. So we're seeing that. I mean, it's not drastic. It's like in the last in the last hour or so, I can't say we've gone down a huge amount, but enough that it'll be very interesting to see what happens in a few minutes here, in 5 minutes when this market opens, as to what we trade. So that brings us to some levels. Let's do that for everybody, and we're going to set some levels here. I'll give Mike a moment off the mic, the camera, so he doesn't have to deal with that. Let's take a look here at a daily chart, and we're going to go over the stuff that's on the watch list. I'm going to start with the top of the watch list here on Oracle, being that we know it's being impacted by the news. And there's some good levels here, because if you look back at this day here on the 13th of April, I think the high of that day, which is around, oh no, and I don't have my keys set up. It's automatic. Oh my goodness. I've got such an old copy. Guys, we're going to have to virtually do levels. I don't even have my hotkeys set up to do the levels. Look at this. I'm using such an old version of this DAS. All right. So the high of this day here was at 155.91. So I would say if you put a level at 156, that would be a good area to watch, because if we drop an Oracle, you're going to want to pay attention. Other than that, look at this consolidation. You got to watch as the price does get down there to this whole range. This could be a very active space if we get down below that 156 level. If we hold here, well, look, to the top side, we know we've got a couple of levels up here around 170, 171. That would be a place to watch. I don't know that Oracle is going to make a recovery, but I'm going to be looking for those two areas, 171 to the top side and 156 to the downside. I think are the areas to take a look at on Oracle. NVIDIA, well, NVIDIA's been in play for a long period of time. We know that it sort of had to move up higher in the last couple of days. Again, using a 60-minute chart, definitely if we're going to continue to drop, I think the next port of call we're going to look at is just below 204. So see here where we hit this on 3 different days. We had a level here just below 204. So I'd be watching 204 as an early area. See if we get some support. See if the price stops, if it does move lower. If we get a more modest move, you can see here on Friday, we had some consolidation just below 208. So that's only about $2 below the price. So I'll keep an eye on that area there. And then to the top side, well, obviously we've got the previous day close, which is well above our current price now by about almost $7, $6.70. And then, of course, we got the high that we hit yesterday, which is at 218.80. So those would be areas to watch to the top and downside on NVIDIA. The other one that we had on our list here for this morning was Coca-Cola. If we look at Coca-Cola, well, it's had this great run up this morning, and it puts us well above the range that it's been trading in over the last few days. So if we assume that Coke's going to be able to continue this momentum, look at this where it sits, right? We've got potential support just to the downside here at roughly $78, which is a whole dollar below where it's at right now at about $78.40. If it finds support there, well, you've got some good move to the top side, where it could run as high as $81 or $82, where it was back in February, the end of February of this year. So I'll definitely look at those high range there. Coke is one, frankly, guys, when it gaps like this, I don't expect it to go all that much further. I mean, it's up 4%, only $3. But if it gets to 80, I'd be impressed. That whole dollar number is always a place to look at. So like Mike said, sometimes it's worth just watching to see what happens on the reversal. It might not be a trade right at the open. You can watch it during, for a good reversal. And then on the downside, we had Spotify. We put that on our list early, and it is definitely gapping down below this price action. Again, looking at this daily chart, you can definitely see where I would expect it to get support. I always forget Spotify's a $400 stock. That surprises me every time I look at it. Anyways, 437 is the 36 is the price right now. I would look down here. So this is going to move, quite a lot. Big range, big spread. Just be aware of that. So moderate your size and your number of shares accordingly. This is going to have a move down around to 415, I think, is the place to look, where it should get a lot of support and not go lower. But that gives you a good $20, $25 range. I mean, it's already gapping down $56, so be aware of that. All right, guys, that's it for our levels. We're a minute away. You might have heard my alarm in the background there. That puts us a minute away from the open here. Boy, I'm going to be hard-pressed to trade. I've got this super old version of DAS here. And I said, I'm even as I'm looking at it, I'm automatically, the settings are set so I'm in my my demo account. So every time I change tickers, it's going to go default back to my demo account. So I'm going to have to, maybe I'll be trading here in a simulator and not even realize it, Mike. You know how we have those days. We'll see what happens. All right, we're just
yeah, I've had those days.
We're a couple of seconds away from the open. I'm going to watch NVIDIA right here at the open. So let's go. Opening bell just rang. Let's see where we go. So
it is, I definitely have NVIDIA watching that. The market did kind of pop up right there going into the close or into the open. Sorry, I'm so stuck on what we normally talk about, Peter.
Yeah. Well, also,
and
you
now
already had your trade.
Yep, and I already had a trade today, so we're looking good.
For you, it is the close, almost.
Yeah.
All right.
Almost. All Eventually, we'll get the trade. So if you're wondering what Andrew is looking at today, he's looking at AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, MU, and QCOM. Brian is on the road by the looks of his camera in the chat room today. Eamon's looking for a long on AMD and maybe a Spotify. And then that's it. I'm looking at Oracle, NVIDIA, and I'll keep an eye on the futures as well. But kind of got what I was expecting with the market, which was that initial pop up. And then it kind of sold right back down. But I was expecting that pop more after the open, not 1 minute before. So we'll see, though. It kind of throws some uniqueness off. Yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop. But, it was a pop-up to VWAP, and then we've kind of rejected VWAP, so.
Yeah. Look at this.
I got to move.
My data is so... What is going on here? Pre- and post-market. I mean, rare do you see things gapping so much that they don't even have the VWAP in play. So look at NVIDIA.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is just the gapping on it's just crazy right now. So, look at NVIDIA. You're almost $2 below VWAP, so.
Yeah.
Oracle's pushing up nicely, though. It actually got above the VWAP, which is interesting. INTU? Let me look at INTU. Yeah. I don't like how it's just not moving. Like, see, look at that. That was at 402 something, and it the next movement was 403.73. That's tough on INTU.
What are you watching? Sorry.
Somebody called out INTU and YouTube, so yeah. So I didn't.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It doesn't move. I don't see a lot of volume coming. I mean, we're sitting really low on the volume, so I don't. It's 83,000 shares traded. That's super hard. I prefer things that are trading more like NVIDIA here. So.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm taking a quick look at Atlas, seeing if I see anything stacking anywhere. And
Tesla's
got some orders to the top side, NVIDIA's to the downside.
NVIDIA's sort of balanced. There's a little more to the downside. I do have you can see I've got the market atlas here going, and it's really helpful, right, to take a look at the volumes and where they're at. You can see that we're a few more orders to the downside than the top side, but when you zoom in, if you get closer, you see we got more of a balanced picture here. So it's hard to determine where exactly we're going to go. I'm always short bias in these things. I do think there's a short bias opportunity on it. So let's see if I can't. Can I? Oh, hold on.
Do I hear like this thumping sound somewhere? It's really annoying.
Oh no.
Looks like Andrew's trading AMD.
Yes.
So, look at the sell-off on Apple. Wow. Trying to get all kind of set up. AMD's nice push higher. Let's see what AMD's. Oh yeah, we got some orders to the top side on AMD up at 323. And we got Apple going down. Nice sell off. Netflix down, yeah. Tesla. Let me look at Tesla. I know I had Tesla up there. Yeah. Tesla, I do like Tesla to the top side. It's got some orders up at 380 right now. So if it can hold this previous state close, you might get a nice push up. For me, I need a better pullback before I'll get into this Tesla long though. There, Tazzy. I want to see at least 2 red candles for my higher break. It's the same problem I have on AMD, right? AMD only has 1 red candle. I would have liked this second red candle and then a push up. Ooh, look at that pop on AMD. That was crazy. 322 to 325. Like, wow. SPY is pushing back up to the 712. NVIDIA, my issue, it's at the 200 moving average, which I don't typically like, but I hate trading into that 200. I could use a short on it maybe if we reject it again. But what do we have, NVIDIA?
This is so weird.
Apple's. Wow. Apple's got lots of stuff to the downside. Nice push. Oracle recovering nicely. Tesla, yeah, see, here we go again with Tesla just pushing up, gonna hit that 380 mark. There are those orders, and then we'll see what the book looks like after Tesla. Clears those. AMD struggling at 325-ish. Looking for a long on MU. Let's take a look at MU, see if we got.
NVIDIA looks like it wants to go higher, so we're watching NVIDIA. We'll see.
MU struggling at this area. I like that. The only thing I don't like about that NVIDIA is I just hate trading into that 200, and I would have looked to take an entry before it. But it does look strong right now.
It does.
This that initial market kind of recovery.
Yeah. NVIDIA's looking good. I'm keeping a close eye on that. Want to see what it's doing here. It looks like it's all the orders to the downside are disappearing, and the orders at the top side are building. So looks like NVIDIA's got an opportunity to move higher.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Somebody else trading AMD out there. Z. TSLA finally got the pullback I was looking for. Hit my scanner, so I'm going to keep an eye on Tesla right now. See what we do here at the VWAP. See if we hold it or if we're going to drop below and then continue.
Weird.
So that is going to be, that's what I'm looking at. NVIDIA, I will actually do the same thing on NVIDIA. If it gets below VWAP, NVIDIA, because NVIDIA had a lot of orders to the downside. Good job, Georgie. 8 minutes, Oracle AMD, that's the way to go. AMD was a nice mover this morning. I mean, moved up 312 to 325. Yeah, that's a great 1 minute orb. Here goes NVIDIA higher again.
Yeah, NVIDIA's doing a good job moving higher here, so that looks good. Let's see what the market overall is doing. The market looks very similar, right? The SPY and the Qs both moving higher along with it. So we got NVIDIA pushing higher. It's a good move. And like I said, if you look at the Market Atlas, useful tool here, you can see how the orders have started to build to the top side, right? So you can see the bigger candles here on the top versus the bottom. So that gives us a good push higher. That's a good move. And AMD is also moving. Look at AMD's pushing higher here. So whoops, gotta show you the chart. There you go. AMD pushing higher.
NVIDIA nice. AMD as well. Yeah, we look at AMD. Where's the orders on AMD?
No, It's harder. The order book is a lot thinner on AMD, isn't it?
I am all discombobulated here. Peter, you and I both are discombobulated a little bit here.
Discombobulated, indeed. Well, that's what happens when you're doing something you're not normally doing in the morning. So that's why routine is important.
Yep.
We talk about this a lot about how, I mean, let's face it, trading is a psychological endeavor. And if you sort of upset that psychology, it can have all sorts of impact, whether it's trading related or not, right? I mean, you could have like tripped getting out of bed and it could throw you right off. So you never know.
Wow, that's a lot of red on AMD coming through the time and sales right now.
Yeah. He is an interesting animal.
At 325 is crazy on AMD. That's the second time it's done that. 325 and then sold off of 325. Market is pushing higher. MU broke out of that little consolidation area it had. NVIDIA did the pullback. Tesla has found support at the VWAP.
You're long some shares of Micron, eh? So you guys are looking at CoreWeave and Micron. You got a few things going there. Got AMD.
Micron that's a good trade. Micron at 505. Nice little
What's
opening
Micron
1
up
minute.
to? Oh, yeah.
1 minute opening range breakout. That's a nice.
Yeah.
I cannot not fault you on that one. Oracle making another high today for net forum the open.
Oh.
The SPY is rolling over a little bit.
It is.
We do have, remember, go for it, Peter.
Oh, I'm just watching AMD here, looking to see if it drops. I've got a little short trade, but it's in the simulator because I can't figure out how to get to my live account. So this is sort of weird. Just thought I would take that short-term reversal.
Oh,
I don't trust.
I don't trust. Isn't that such a pain? Like, we are both discombobulated right now. I'm telling you, we both are.
Oh, you bet. I know I am.
So
I don't love this position here. I missed the push up. I thought we could get a push lower. We get a good push lower. It'll be a good move.
So the second time Tesla is trying to get above the previous day close. You like that word, firebake, Clay? I know, right? It's just one of those days. It's all right, though. I had a good, if you're just joining us, I took a trade on the MES in the pre-market as it kind of bottomed out, put some volume in.
Now, every time I hear the word discombobulated these days, I think of the Sherlock Holmes movie that was done with Downey Jr. when because my daughter used to repeat that all the time. Where you know when he hits the guy on the ears, he goes discombobulate, and he hits him on the side of the head, just both ears. When they do the slow motion, here's how I'm going to incapacitate the guy, and he has like all these moves: hit, solar plexus, thing, discombobulate. Anyways, every time. So I think my daughter used to repeat that over and over. She thought it was hilarious. So.
I'm watching Tesla here. We're going to see what it does right around this previous day close. Hopefully.
You're watching Tesla? All right, let's take a look.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can get a move up to the high a day here on Tesla.
Okay.
If we lose 378, I'll probably get out of this. But I'm looking. Here we go. Get this push. See if we can't get this push up here.
All right, Mike's going for that. We have
try.
There's
some orders up at 380. We got orders up. Yep. We got orders at 380. But this is the second time. And you got. And it did not help that the SPY just did a big, crazy red candle in there.
No. It's funny, Mike, using this platform here this morning, you realize how, reliant you get on your configured environment, right? Like I'm using a setup that I'm not familiar. Even in my travel computer, I guess I've set it up so long ago that you get used to everything. To me, this is like, I used to trade using this config, but years and years ago, so many years that I've forgotten, and it's throwing me all off. Like I can't see my orders. It doesn't even have like this version of the software is so old it can't even show your orders on the screen. And I remember that's how I used to trade. You used to have to see your orders by looking at the you look at your order log rather than actually just checking right on the chart. So it's all very strange for me.
Yeah,
throwing me right off.
This Tesla is not behaving in the way that I like it. Yeah, we're gonna get out of that. No, I don't like it. I liked it, and then I didn't like it. So we're gonna get out of that. It's just that move on the SPY kind of did me in. If you look at the SPY, this spike down really got me. So kind of messed up that trade. Hey, things happen. We'll see if we can get back above at a little bit of a later date. So, if you're wondering where Carlos is, he's just taking the day off.
Yeah, he just has a day.
He need a day off.
Yeah.
So.
We're happy for him to do that. So, here we go. Now we're getting a drop here on AMD.
Nice. We got 942.
I'm taking some partials on the way down here on AMD. I like the short things.
15-minute high, 7183. Low is 650. Ready, there we go. I'll be looking after about 30 minutes. I take a look again at the futures at the ES and kind of see what the candle looks like to determine if I'm going to take a opening 30-minute opening range breakout on it. So, but for now, I'm just kind of watching Tesla here. It has put some orders in at 377, but it still has orders up at 380. So
yeah, I got your screen going there so that we can see it.
yeah. So, but again, you have this previous day close that's in there. So SPY is selling too, which does not help out, but Tesla is holding. MU is starting to fade back off along with AMD and NVIDIA.
Yep.
NVIDIA might be good for if it gets back below VWAP, the setup Carlos likes. Because I did see a lot of orders to the downside at the beginning of the market for NVIDIA. Yeah, Tesla going back. We just wait and see. Ooh, let's check Uber out. Uber just popped on my scanner, so figure I'll take a look at it. Pull back off this. Nothing does not look appeasing, actually.
Yeah, but nothing too exciting going on there.
NVIDIA getting some sell off. The SPY, if you notice, SPY is selling off of S6, so we could get a run here on the SPY after its initial push up. So I do kind of like this possibility for an opening range breakdown on the MES as we opened outside yesterday's high and low, as well as the low from the previous day. And we tried to push back into the range and we've rejected that. So could be an interesting setup for that. And we are definitely in the structure of the market this morning is definitely downtrending, right? So we keep putting in higher lows and lower highs. Lower lows and lower highs. Sorry. Lower lows and lower highs.
Whoa.
So
well, we got a mirror effect on your screen now, Mike. What's up with that?
That's yours. It's mirrored, Peter. I don't have the layout.
Oh, you're right. That's my bad.
I don't have layouts like that. There we go.
I thought it was your sharing screen.
Hey, we were taking. I think Peter just might have got some of Andrew's peanut butter for his breakfast somewhere. You never know. Yeah, SPY turning red. So that initial pump up, and now we're gonna kind of get a move down. We'll see. Want to see the color of this candle and where we close out. There you go. Discombobulated. Let people discombobulate.
Yeah.
That is the word of the day. Yeah, glad I got out of that Tesla trade early. That was. It's okay if you misspelled it. I still knew what you were talking about.
Got a couple minutes till the consumer confidence data comes out, so that's some data to look forward to. And
Yeah. I'm not confident in all of going to the store. I hate going to the store now.
I hate going to the store.
Yeah, it just the amount of money I spend to buy just basic stuff irritates me. I feel violated every time I go to the store nowadays. I mean, what do you mean? I have one bag and I spent $100. Like, what? Give me give me a break. Oh, Tesla. Tesla put in another big wick right there. I'm going to try this again one more time on Tesla.
Yep. I got your screen. So I had to figure out how to set that up. So there you go. Mike's trying Tesla long here again. Long, I assume.
Yep, long through 379.
I see.
Let's see what we do.
I see. Right. So you're going for the high of day break.
Yep. I want a first partial up here at up at the high of day.
Guys, I'd show you my trades, but it doesn't show on the chart here. Again, in fairness, I'm trading in a simulator, and I was having trouble finding things. It's funny for me because I tried to trade NVIDIA short at the open, and then I couldn't find the trade. I couldn't figure out where it was. So if I was actually trading, you guys know how I love to stop at break even. I would have stopped this thing at break even, but I couldn't find the trade. So I was like, I don't know where it is. By the time I found it again, I was well into the negative, so I got out of that, and then I got into a trade on AMD short, which I made back the money. So you can see my fake money account here. I've made some money today, but it's not. I always feel like we gotta face that, right? Because sometimes people are trading in simulators and pretending that they're live, and it's like, you know what? It's just no. I'm not trying to pull one over on you. I got this weird setup today where I can't.
There's my partial.
Oh, look at that, Mike. Yeah, right at that high of day level. So.
Yeah, but now I want to see it go. I'll probably get stopped back out here at break even because Tesla's really, really going weird. And we just had the consumer confidence news come out. So I could very well get stopped out at break even, but I'm okay with that. Like my plan says take a partial when we get at that high a day. That's what I do. If we continue up like this, we'll go there. I got another level. It looks like 2 days ago's high, or no, yesterday's high that I'll take a partial at as well if we get up there. And then I'll get out at a new 1 minute low unless the 5 minute candle closes out. Then I'll move it to a new 5 minute low.
God.
It is so squirrely.
So throwing me off. I'm using such an old version. I know I keep saying this, but it's such an old version of the software. It only has the old menus. They don't even have the new menus in this. So I'm like trying to find things. Can't even find.
That's terrible.
That's why like some of the settings don't even exist. You forget how much they've added to the software and improved it over the last few years. So you go back to like a really
where did you
version.
get that download, Peter?
Well, so you know what happened? Because you know when if you buy a new computer and you sync it up to your Microsoft account, it goes and it loads all of the files that you saved into your Microsoft the OneDrive. Well, my OneDrive filled up because I don't pay for like an expanded subscription, right? So my OneDrive filled up like a decade ago, and I didn't even think about it. So the reason why this is so old is because it's the last version that got saved on the OneDrive before it filled up. and I stopped updating it. So when I bought the new computer, I'm like, oh, I've got DAS loaded, and it automatically populates everything. And I pulled it up, and most of the software was all good because it would just default to the new version. Well, DAS didn't. The only version I've got on this computer is the old one, and I tried to update it, and it's like cannot compute. Well, no wonder. It's like 10 years old. You just can't make the leap from. So I'm gonna have to like reinstall like a whole new version, but I didn't have time to do that before the trading day today.
So far, I've managed to benefit from not getting stopped out to the penny. Like, if you look at my 1 minute chart, you can see how close to being stopped out at break even I was.
All right. Yeah, that spike, that looks like it came right down to your entry. What is your break even is 378.90? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep. 378.90.
And the bottom of that candle is 378.91. Oh, Mike. Oh, survived by a penny. Look at you.
Survived by a penny. So I'm waiting for yesterday's high if we get there, or that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, guys, you're all like, don't do that. Peter, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm, anyways.
So you got to stick to your plan.
If you want an older version of DAS, I've got one for you. I don't know how to get it to you, but I don't think you want this. Again, what is my...
You got to do an update, Peter. After today, you definitely have to do an update.
Yeah. Here you go. So this is the... This is the one that I've got here. Oh,
what's the version on it?
See, 5.2.0.31 build date of July 31st, 2018.
Wow.
So it's 8 years old, basically, almost. All right, let's look at some trading. Mike's you're still hanging in here. I think
still hanging. Yeah. Hopefully. I'm probably getting, I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't look promising now, but we'll hold. I still got 380 orders here.
All right. That's good. Major fumble. Yeah, there you go. Ben Paris, that's right. This is my fumble. Like Carlos gets his fumbles. This is my fumble for the day. I've had a few of them this morning.
Hey, it always happens. I mean, until you actually like run the program, you don't realize what you're missing out of stuff. You're like, what the heck? Yeah.
And you forget all the stuff that, again, like all the features they've added that I just take advantage of and count on every day. It's funny to see.
Yeah. There we go. We got a partial there again.
Ooh, NVIDIA pushing higher. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a push higher here, so that's nice.
I should have waited till 3150. This blue line here is actually not a level because I didn't update those lines, so I'm not taking a partial there. Next partial will be around 382.47, right at R3. So...
here's an interesting thing, Mike. I was just looking at my stock list here. This is so old that I still have FB as a ticker symbol in this.
Oh, man. FB, Facebook, baby.
Yeah. Good old
go Facebook.
Yeah. Look at that.
Here we go. Coming up on another nice partial area.
Oh, good. Mike, you're getting the move. I like it. That's awesome.
I'm telling you, the SPY, I liked the first trade that I took on this. I did like that first trade. I thought it set up nicely, but with that SPY candle, I think it really impacted. And that's why I ended up getting out a little bit earlier than normal.
Right.
We're kind of struggling here at 382. I'll take a partial here at 382 since we're at a whole number. I like that move, $4 move on Tesla. So, and then we'll look at three as I look at Atlas over here. I'm actually kind of using the YouTube feed as well. 383 because you got my screen up there. So we're looking at 383. But yeah, so that's why this is the thing I think some people, traders forget sometimes, right? Is that when you're in a trade, right, you know everything previously, and you make a determination to make an entry and take an entry, and then you have a plan of how you're going to manage the trade. But the missing factor sometimes that you forget is that the market can provide you new information after you've made an entry. And it's a very distinct line between making a change to your plan after entry because of fear and losing money compared to, hey, the market has actually provided new information that no longer validates my trade plan and I need to get out of this trade plan, right? And this is an example of that, this first trade that I took. I'm in it, I got good volume, I've hit my scanner, I got my setup, I'm in it, but then the SPY on that very next candle does this weird stuff. And that's new market information. I don't know what it is, but I know that the market has processed some type of new information that I need to reevaluate and reassess my trade that I was in. And in the Tesla trade, it just could not get back above here on the next candle, so I got out. Can you hear that in the background, Peter?
I heard something momentarily.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That? Just a sec.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike's doing that. His trade is still running. We're taking a look here at the market overall. It looks like we're we didn't go up significantly off the open. We had that initial push. We pulled back. It looks like we're sort of in a chop zone here. If I look at the Qs, same thing, right? Like we're pushing a little bit higher, but it's certainly not not a huge move, nor is it the big drop, right, that we were worried might happen, or at least I was worried that it might happen off the open. So it looks like, people are saying, you know what, all that news with OpenAI, if you didn't catch it earlier, by the way, the OpenAI news was that they were seeing a decline in some of their user base. And that was a little bit of concern for all the people that invested significantly in it. But the market was gapping down pre-market, but has made a recovery. The other thing that came out, by the way, a few minutes ago was the consumer confidence number. Came out stronger than anticipated. 92.8 was the actual number. 89 was the forecast. Again, I didn't bother flipping to it because Mike was just getting into his trade on Tesla at the time, and it didn't, it's pretty much within the margin of error. The market didn't significantly react to it, and nor would I generally expect it to. So there you go. So that's really was the last piece of economic data of note that we were going to be looking at today. So going back to Mike's trade, it's still hanging in there, but it's starting to pull back on you pretty heavy.
Starting to pull back pretty heavy here. So, but that's why I took that partial at 382 when it was there.
Right.
So what's the low of this candle? 379.50. So. Well, we get an engulfing candle here. I will get out. It's got to stick with your plan.
So, Mike, here's a strange. I'm gonna do a proud papa moment. Strange thing, but so my daughter, my middle child, just finished her PhD. got a job. She's working at the Children's Hospital, running their sports medicine research department, helping coordinate that. And she was. We woke up this morning, and I'm like, "Geez, she left the house early." Well, I go, "Oh yeah, she's got a surgery this morning." I'm like, "Cool, like that's cool." I like the fact that my child is now. She's not the one performing the surgery, but she's going to observe and be part of the surgical team. So I'm like, to me, that's just cool. My child is off to help participate in the surgery. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I find that so cool, but that's
because you're proud dad.
Yeah, absolutely. I just find that okay, cool. You go, girl. Go off to surgery. I'll sit here and we'll trade stocks.
Trade stocks.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't sound as cool compared to got to get up early because I got to get in for surgery. Benoit, so biomedical engineering. She did a specialization on knee surgeries. She actually pioneered a new approach to knee surgeries and knee replacement surgeries, and using a combination of robotics and human surgery. She actually did a comparison between a fully automated robotic surgical process and a doctor-led process. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Here, since we're talking, I'm going to run for 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right, Peter. So I'm still sitting in this Tesla trade. I will get out at a new 5-minute low. That's my plan. So the cops are looking for Peter right now in the background. The downfall of living in the downtown. The cops come for you every now and again.
Here you go. Here is her actual PhD thesis, written out in fine book form. And if you want some exciting reading, this is in vitro investigations of conventional versus robotic-assisted total knee arthroplasty. There you go.
So I do use a trailing stop. I just do it mentally because I'm too incompetent to figure out how to properly do it in DAS.
Okay.
I've tried to do it in DAS and it never works the way I want it to, so I just say I'll do it myself.
Really?
So I just watch it. Yeah. Like I can even replace the order if I wanted to. So what I want, got a 12-cent spread. So 379. Oh, wait, we got a new 5-minute low here. 379.60. Oh, well, I'll just do it manually now because I'm about ready to get out of this. So. I want a red candle.
The market's getting a drop here.
So we'll get out. New 5-minute low. That is a good trade on my day. I am happy with that. So far, I've had 2 winners, 1 loser. Cannot complain for today.
Excellent.
Being discombobulated with 2 winners, that's a good day. What do we got over in the chat room? We got... Oh, I should have been paying attention to the Andrew indicator, it looks like.
Why was Andrew?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It was Andrew. Look at that. Tesla with you.
Look at that, though, Peter. Compare my trade to Andrew's trade.
Yeah,
who was close. Following who?
I know. It's pretty close, isn't it? So you get to ride on him when he joins on here. Hopefully, we'll see if he jumps in. But
I think he's still in. I think he's still in that trade, but I get out at a new 5-minute low, so that's mine. We'll let Andrew do Andrew. That's always good, right? And I wasn't even. I had Andrew completely over here, so hey, I must be doing something right.
Must be.
Here we go. I do. Tesla it has a lot of orders up to 383. I stick with my plan. I know what my plan says. So that's what I do. That is we do this. I teach it in peak capital training, harp on it. I try to live by what I teach. I've always been somebody that, why are you going to teach something that you're not willing to do yourself? So,
yeah.
Even if it's wrong sometimes. So, I learned that from the military. Nothing like, if you make a decision and it's a bad decision, but you just live by it, then so be it. Nobody can complain. But if you make a decision and you make everybody else do it, and then you're like, yeah, but I'm special and I can get away with it,
But
then
not
you're
me.
gonna have,
Well, that's...
you wanna make people upset at you, go for it. That's how you do it.
That's sort of the definition of not having your people's back, right? Because you're do as I say, not as I do. That's yeah. All right. I went short a little bit of NVIDIA here on this pop, hoping to get a move lower. I'm not going to give it much room, even though I'm in simulator. I'm going to trade like I would trade. Although I'm trading, admittedly, a little bit more than I normally would. Wish I could show you guys. Like, it's right here on my screen, and I still can't show my trades. But there's got to be a way to do that. I forget. I forget where the option is in these old menus. Anybody remember old DOS? Where do you get the show trades on screen? There's got to be, like, that can't be a brand new feature, can it?
No, but isn't there a search button? Yeah, like a search box in there. Do show. Type in show in like the.
Maybe.
If you go to config, it's got to be the chart study. Go to the chart.
Yeah,
chart area, config area.
Yeah, see, that's where it used to. But
isn't there a box up at the top?
Well, see, here's the problem. Here, let me show you on the screen here. This is what the old menu system. When you go to chart, this is the only thing you get, right? Like look how tiny that is. Like that's it. Those are the only options. It's yeah.
Go to config, Peter. Go to config. Let me see some. Maybe look in there for something that's.
Yeah, I'll find it. It's in here somewhere, but I think
in here should be something that. Remember they did that you had to click to make it new?
Right.
Oh, but you're probably too old. Show footer.
Too old.
What's at the bottom of that? Is there something lower? I can't see below.
I know it comes off. It's not available on the screen that I'm sharing here. So no, look. Anyways, I'll find it.
Oh yeah,
I'll figure it out. It's
Wow.
Anyways, we don't need to troubleshoot my old software problems.
Your archaic view.
Exactly.
Tesla did come all the way back down to my break even. So once again, my trading plan was correct. Out at a new 5-minute low. So. Brutal indeed. Andrew he's still trading AMD though. Andrew's still in AMD. That's a trade that was nice as well. What's Google? What's Oracle up to? Let's see, Oracle. No, Oracle. Man, I cannot type Oracle. There we go. There we go. Oracle. Ooh, it did make a nice move. Got up to 168, kind of topping off here. Oh man, we're 30 minutes into the market. See, I'm all over the place.
30 minutes? We're 50 minutes into the market. What are you talking
Yeah, 50 minutes. Well, this is where I should be looking for I gotta do a quick data input here. So I got a sheet, right? I can pull this up. So I've created a sheet that kind of helps me identify what the market is doing. And it doesn't usually take me that long to do it. 70183.
Got a lot of a lot of fields there.
Yeah. But what it does, once I put it all in here, I'm trying to do two things, and I'm not good at remembering things when I do stuff. Open. Trying to memorize numbers. But what it does is it just kind of defines the market based off of different things, right? Below 5-minute candles, 1-minute crossings. VWAP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crossings. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely in a downtrend on this. Or bullish. Impulse size, we got what? 61, so 20. Back is about 18. Overlap. Yes. No. Overlap is no. 3 to 5, more than 50%. Yeah. No breakout volume. Breakout expansion. Breakout range. There's no breakout and hold. That's why I'm just making it 0 for everybody. There was definitely a gap down. Reversal candle. Reversal. Top rejection 1, bottom rejection 2, 1, and catalyst alignment. Yes. So when you put all this in, it kind of gives you the day type that you're going with. And it looks like today is either a trend or a range day. So
now what's it telling you so far, Mike?
So it's a trend or a range day. So if you look at, let me pull this back up. What it's basically saying is, hey, here's your two that you can possibly have, which is a trend or a range day. So if we look at what the market's doing over the course, we're really in a downtrend, right? But in the early market structure, we're in this range. So right now, right? So what does that tell you about what strategies to trade, right? Well, you have the possibility of a good VWAP pullback trade that you can. And if you notice on the 5-minute, let me put this to the side. You notice on the 5-minute that we have some pullbacks, false break out of the VWAP, pulled back again. And now we also have the opening range breakout also showing up. So you have two decent setups on the trend. And then if you're going to if you think it's more of a range day or looking for confirmations, this is really the bottom of the range, right? And one of the things that you have to be aware of is your current market structure, right? On the 5-minute as well. We have a higher high here, higher low, higher high, higher low. So if you think, or if you're going to try to take this to the downside on the futures, which really does respect market structure a lot, you're definitely want to get either in after 7160, or if you get in before it, you're going to want to be partialing at this area to make sure. But if we lose this, now we basically change structure, and so we could be to the downside. Trend right here, you can see the 50. It's struggling at that 50, so this could be a good area as well. My only problem with trying to take an entry right here is you're in the middle of the range.
Your mic's fading again.
Oh, sorry, I stepped back. That was me. I stepped back. My leg was hurting. But you're in the middle of the range. You're in the middle of the range. I don't like entering near the middle of the range. So I'm just going to kind of wait. What I want to see is I want to see what this candle closes like here in the next minute.
Right.
And if we get red, we're still indecisive. I may look to take an entry within the next half an hour. If we lose this low, I would take it off this 30-minute. So, or it probably would take, if we go back up and try to test this high, if we fail this high, I would look at taking a mean reversion off of that, which is off the range day, right? Because now you're at the upper echelon of that, put your stop above the top of the range, and then you can play it back down. So that is what I'm looking to do. If you look at the Atlas, you can see there's a lot more orders to the downside on the ES right now. So
I finally figured it out, Mike. I've got the trades.
You got it.
I could show the trades. It was just a button I had to find in one tiny menu that said show trades. So there you go. I forgot you can't show the orders. You could just show the trades. So you can see I'm actually short, and this is actually probably in the study config. It was not where you expected. Oh, and I can't change the size of the. I can't change the size of the little candles. So sorry, they're really tiny. Can't change the size or color. I forgot that was a feature added. So in any event, you can see I sort of went short with a small size. I added in towards the. This is going to be my final stop if it went over 213.50, and gave me the opportunity. I partialed to take some risk off. I partialed again down here. I was hoping to get down below. Well below 212. While it spiked here, this is a really quick spike, so we'll see. My break even is 212.98, so I'm up here just under 213. So, anyways, so we're sitting there on this trade. Puts me nicely into the green for this morning. Again, in my fake money. Shame it's not real money, but one of the things Mike and I have learned, right? Trade it like it is. It's good practice. Yep. So trying my best here. Treat it like it is real money.
And here's some for all of you that don't believe in the simulator. Your pilots believe in simulators. Think about that.
That's a good point. I mean, you don't want to you don't want to test, your skills on a plane live, because failure has a steep price. Not only in the price of the jet, but the human cost, right? So, yeah.
Yep. And even your pilots that are flying, they still have to do simulator training every year. So, because that's how they train for emergency procedures, is through the simulators. So,
right.
Just remember, simulator is good.
There you go. Simulator is good. So, I see the question there. That's why I was showing you. Did I take any trades? So, Kivili, I'm not normally the one who's hosting this, so it's harder for me to share my trades. So that's why Carlos isn't here to show his trades. So that's why we had Mike with his trades on the screen, and then I'm getting you mine here as well, so that you can see that. Yeah. So I tried an initial short, but this is where I lost it. So you can see I went short here. I would have got out like really quickly, but then I'm like, what's happening? And I wasn't. I couldn't find all the buttons. So that NVIDIA was a big loss. And then I'm making back some of it here. And then the only other trade I had was on AMD, which was here off of this high of day. I can zoom in on this for you guys a little bit. You can see I shorted. I added into the short because it looked good. Partial, partial, partial. And then just out at break even. Actually, I think I got out here because it looked to me like it was about to turn around, and it did. So anyways, so that was it. That's it. Those are the only two trades I've taken on NVIDIA and AMD. And I am still short NVIDIA here with some shares.
Nice.
So, and I don't even know. I can't even put I don't even know if I can put a stop loss at break even. I don't have any of my hot buttons or anything set up. It's
hot buttons or hotkeys.
I know, it's so weird.
Oh, I know. Doesn't that just... I hate that when you go to travel and you take your travel laptop and then you change so much on your desktop and you're like, damn it. Like, why can't DAS like just transfer over the cloud like every other trading platform nowadays?
If I can put an order in, see if it shows my orders. Study config. Whoops.
It's all Sam Altman's fault. I agree. Blame Sam Altman.
Oh, I got my order and it still doesn't show my order here.
So here we go on the MES.
Let's go back to what Mike's doing here.
We're coming down to that lower range, so we will see.
Oh, there you go. It does have a... Oh, it only puts like a little arrow at my stop. That's weird.
Where's my stuff? I can figure this out.
All right, NVIDIA is heading back towards the VWAP here. VWAP would be where I want to next take a partial. So that would give me a good opportunity. Take a partial. 211.55 I see as the VWAP here. Again, being that I don't really trust this, the VWAP in this old version actually says 211.77 on the montage window, 211.55 on the chart. So we're roughly into where the VWAP area is right now. So I'm thinking that I would actually want to take a partial right here. I'm gonna take one. So there you go. You can see I added the partial onto the screen. Oh, we're getting a good drop though. Look at that. Right through.
I'm late on my entry. Damn it. That's all right. So I have taken a short on the MES. Okay. So 30-minute opening range breakdown. So we set our stop above 7.1, roughly 71.75. Took 2 contracts, so we'll see what we get. And one thing that since I've started trading and paying attention, I really like I'm a slow processing type of guy. So I like the MES. It moves slower than the NQ. It's just, I like it.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
So no. So we will see what we get. The SPY.
This is a good move lower here. Why am I only in simulator? This would have been a great trade for me. Take another partial.
I know. I'm very proud of the Tesla trade though. I really like this. In, out. This is good day trading experience. You get in, you don't like it, you get out, you don't hold onto your loser, and then you just get right back in. And it's almost like the almost identical entry point too for the move up. If you look on the 5-minute, it's like almost identical. It's like two eyes with a nose. All you need is a mouth. Jared would be drawing on this thing right here. He'd draw a mouth and a face, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I like this drop. Right. Oh yeah, look at this. I like this. I just got to remember that I need a green triangle to appear here when I got the volume coming in, the SPY going down. I like this.
There you go.
Like it. I like it.
Andrew was just checking in on us, looking at what we're doing. I was sharing with him my AMD trade. He was looking at your futures trade, Mike. So we've got the chat room.
I got that. And Andrew, I'm pretty impressed with your Tesla trade. I wasn't even watching you, and I think we mirrored our trades today.
Yeah, that's why I got to get Andrew to put that back on the screen so we can compare those.
Come on, give me 7150. Oh, so close. Like it though. I do like this move down.
All right, let's go to back to what am I short here? NVIDIA. Wow, darn it, darn it! Why is this only fake money?
Oh,
Normally I'm cursing that I
Peter.
don't get into it, and here I am in the great trade, and sitting on a
gonna take half the contracts off right there. I like it, and then we'll let this go 7150-ish. So
why not?
This has been a good day. I like it.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad trading, not bad opportunities here.
Beautiful day. We love it. So got the last 20 minutes. Again, market structure is nice to us, right? So again, we lose this. We lost this lower or higher low. As soon as we lost that higher low, that's when we got this drop off on the MES. But it's really off the SPY. Let me put the SPY up here. Right, here's your lower high again. SPY lost that. That's when it dropped down and testing the pre-market low. So moves nice. You can kind of I have found that I enjoy the MES. So yeah, SPY coming back up off this range level, but we're good. Like it. So fun day, good time. I use my broker account, IBKR is and I'm using DAS to trade it just because I don't want to go through the I don't want to pay for another platform, and I don't want to go through the pain of hooking up another trading platform to my DAS account or to my IBKR account, and then you have two platforms hooked up to too much complications. I'm a simplistic guy. Like,
the old KISS philosophy, right?
yeah, just keep it simple. I've been using DAS. I like it. They do easy entries, exits. It's easy to just email IBKR and say, hey, I want to trade futures. And they're like, oh, okay, here you go. Permission granted. Thank you. So that's the biggest thing, is you just have to make sure that you have permissions. Because depending on how you set up your account, if you set up with IBKR, your broker might not enable.
Right.
So on DAS, you don't get any level 2 in DAS on the futures. So for whatever reason, DAS's data subscription, they don't give you any. They only give you the level 1 data. So I use, well, that's a little, for whatever reason, not working. Yeah, there we
go. Okay.
They've done something different. I don't know why the futures aren't working on Atlas. I usually use Atlas for that. So, but it's not going. I can clearly tell it's not
being
going.
added there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's working on everything else, though. I don't know.
Still watching.
That's all right. I got my trades. I got a long trade and a short trade off the futures today. Got a couple trades on Tesla.
Yeah. It's a good morning, right?
I'm
we don't
good.
have to overcomplicate it. That's what trading is. I'm happy with, I'm sitting in my trade on NVIDIA. It looks like it's finished going down here. You can see I've taken a couple of partials here, and just because I want to take some size off. I think this is when it hit the low, 210. It's a whole dollar number, right? It makes sense to me that it would bounce there. It's sort of where it reversed from earlier this morning, so that makes sense to me. Now I'm just sitting on a small size waiting to see what happens. So again, trying to manage this like it's real. Like I said, I'm feeling a little sheepish that I'm only trading in a simulator, but we've got a green trade. You can see here on AMD, which was a nice profit, and then NVIDIA, I had a big sort of loss because I lost the first trade, but making it back here. So good day, overall, it's just fine.
Yeah.
So.
I sent you a quick message, Peter.
All right.
On probably something that we skipped over.
Right.
But we'll see. Yeah, it's their simulator account. So doing some updates. Yeah.
All things up here then.
Yeah, what did KO do? Let's look at KO, because I like KO. I am a KO type of person. Ooh, look at KO. Yeah, see, it did good overnight, and it's just kind of there. What you'll notice is, let's go to the 1 minute here. As the day progresses, you'll really find where they have maxed this out. And right now it looks like roughly 80. And if you get to the last hour and a half and they're testing 80 again, it's going to be a great place to kind of fade it off into the close. So when we come back for the close show, I'm going to take a look at KO and see if there's an opportunity to fade this stock back down. But again, it moves super, super, super slow. So remember that. And you're going to take 4 shares of this stock to get it, because your stop can be so much tighter, right? You can get a 5-cent stop on this thing. You can even, like, if you really wanted to, there's even times when you can get a 3 or 4-cent stop on it if you're really.
I used to love stocks that traded in such a tight range that you could sort of manage so, precisely. Like it was, those were my favorite. Actually, that's why I started trading AMD. Sorry, of all things, because it was like when I started trading it, it was a $10 stock. It's like you literally your risk was 1 penny. You could trade with a 5-cent stop easy because the bid ask spread was a penny. It was great. But, those days are behind us. AMD is a big dog now. It's $300 a share with a always rocking like a 15 to 20 cent spread nowadays. So
and MU was $15 with a 1-cent spread.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You think MU's bad now on certain days? Oh my God, it used to be horrendous to trade. Like it would not move.
Yeah.
Like you could trade within a 5-cent range for an hour on MU. It was bad. Look where they are now, eh? $500 stock.
Yes.
MU. Crazy kids.
Yeah,
Kids grow
what
up.
What a little AI does, right?
Yeah, that's right. Oh well, that's what happens. Kids are all growing up.
Yep. And again, we didn't really cover it in the morning show today, but just remember the market could still be impacted by news in Iran, right? Iran did give the US kind of their checklist or items, and the president did convene the Security Council, and they discussed it. Whether they make a deal or not, who knows? Maybe today we do, maybe tomorrow we don't. We never know. But it only takes a post to make the market move. So
Right.
just be aware of that.
And it doesn't even have to be the final truth. Can I put it that way?
Yes.
Yeah,
like, that's a great way to put it.
We get posts all the time that are like, how many posts have we had saying the war is over, right? But not quite yet. So,
yep.
but it's again, but it's a good indication. It's just a reminder of how the market works, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's the old expression, and we need to remember that. That's why the tweets work so well. And Trump knows that. He knows that very well, and he's not afraid. He and his administration are not afraid to use it. So, and look, even Iran is starting to use it. I mean, which I find fascinating. I just find that fascinating. But anyways, but this market is going to move based on the rumor of activity happening. So, and that's what we're interested in, right? What is the impact on the market? How does it? How can we take advantage? How do we stay out of trouble? Again, I'm in a short trade right now, so I got to be worried about it. If there's significantly good news, this could throw my trade. Oh my God, look at NVIDIA drop now. Wow, I should have kept more shares. Wow.
The SPY is selling off too again. Just broke pre-market low, so we are definitely in a downtrend. We are not in the range market, so making a new pre-market low is gonna keep that structure intact.
I am $4 to the good on this right now.
What a trade! What a trade!
I'm gonna take some off here. I think this move right down to the low of day. See if it bounces here, but I feel like I should have added.
The Eamon will be on at the top of the hour, and he's going to bring on somebody possibly uniquely to it. So. Possibly. as we all try to figure out new things. So hopefully you enjoyed the market show today. Hopefully I wasn't too much of a drag on you, Peter, and
No,
dragging down the likes.
Heavens,
But,
no.
hey.
No, it's been awesome. You know, it's been a challenge for me to try and figure all this out. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why this one.
Ooh, look at this. Yeah. When Eamon comes back on, I will officially tell him that I don't want to live wherever he lives. I just saw that video he posted of this spring. No. That
Yeah.
you have that, Eamon. That is all you. 100% you.
Yeah. So guys, so you know what Mike's talking about here. Let me find it here.
Oh my goodness.
So this is Eamon. This is Eamon. He posted this video. Let me get it for you guys here. He's like and his caption is "I love spring." So yesterday and today he's had snow. Look at this, covering his backyard. And look at that.
No.
That is, I mean, I thought I had it bad here in Canada. He's got it worse if that's what he's dealing with. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
we don't wish that on anybody. Not in, I mean, it's almost May, for goodness sake. Yeah.
Not for me.
Eamon went and bought a house, and look at that. I guess he's committed there now. He's I love that. You know, guys, one of the great things about trading, especially if you figure it out and trade for the long term. Eamon's basically a, you know, he's a career trader now. He got his degree, and I'm glad he did. But so he's a doctor too. But not practicing because he's trading with us. So we're lucky to have him here with us. But it was amazing. He started when he was a student. He's been trading with Bearable traders throughout that time, learned how to trade, and it's led him to all sorts of things, including, you know, buying a home, having a family, getting married, the whole thing, man. He's doing it all while, you know, being here, part of this community. So that's pretty great.
So Yazzie, the answer to your question, you're not going to like. It is yes and no. Oh, okay. So the answer is yes and no. Is there a limit? Yes. The limit is once Andrew gets tired of you taking all of his money, he will call you up and say, okay, I'm tired of you and taking all my money. Let's figure something out that will be a better suit for us. But if you're not, and what do I mean taking all of Andrew's money? I kind of saying that kind of jokingly, but yeah. We're talking, right? You get 3 max payouts, right? 4 max payouts, 5 max payout. Andrew's probably going to call you up and be like, hey, okay, this program's designed to teach you how to trade. Clearly, you know how to trade. So let's make that next step of that transition to live trading, and we'll see what we can do with it, right? Versus, hey, you got $400 here, $500, $600. You're covering the cost of your simulator or covering the cost of the program, right? Because you got to have a TT subscription, plus you're paying for it. Like, you could do that over and over and over and over until you get to that point. So remember, the purpose of it is that it is a educational tool to help you make that transition from a pure simulator with no pressure to having a little bit of pressure, knowing that you can make money without the risk of blowing up your own personal account, right? So that you have a fixed risk of whatever the $4.99, the $2.99 plus the 3-month subscription is, to help protect you. And then the next logical step is, once you can consistently make money in that simulator, well, now it's time to take a step to the live trading. right? And make that transition to where you're trading your own money and maintaining your own money and being there. So,
yep, agreed. And it is a don't rush those steps. I think that's the key thing that Mike and I have learned, because we all want to get to profit fast, right? We want to be a billionaire. We all want to have a Lambo like Andrew, but get a Porsche. It's a better car. Anyways, that's we'll see if Andrew's listening. I'll get him to react if he's listening to that. Anyways, but you know, don't rush it. Like that's usually how people create problems, and then you set yourself back, and you know, you rush to try and get to the result faster, and you put yourself farther behind. So take the time. It's so hard to do. It's easy for me to sit here and tell you, you know, and I'm speaking out of experience here, guys. I've been trading full time as a trader for almost 10 years now, and I'm still figuring it out more than I thought I would. And it took me probably 2 years longer than I anticipated to get to a point of profitability. And you know, that was humbling for me to realize that it's always going to take longer than you think. You know, just give yourself the time, give yourself a little bit of freedom. And if you're doing this under pressure, you know, that makes it even worse, right? Some people like quit their jobs, or you get into trading because you're out of work. That's okay. But know that there's a whole lot of pressure on you, right, to make this work. And you might be, you know, you got a limited number of funds. I can only survive for this long. So, you know, I've got 6 months or a year to make this work. That's a lot of pressure to put on your trading, and it's problematic. And it's one of the reasons why people get out of it. So really, I think at the end of the day, if you can do trade, and Andrew will tell you this over and over again, right? If you can trade at part-time, right? Keep your job, trade part-time. You know, that is absolutely the best way to do it, because then you don't need the money, right? The money is extra. And I would always say, if you're thinking, at what point do I quit my job? The only point you quit your job is when you're making more money trading than you are in the job, like more, hopefully significantly more, and you're not spending it. Because if you're spending it, well, then your lifestyle is accelerated, and now you need the job and the trading just to support your lifestyle. So now your trading has to compensate for all of that. Like, you have to keep your lifestyle the same, make extra money that's just going into the bank, that's just sitting out there. And again, it's so easy for me to tell you guys this. We know how hard it is. Mike and I have done it. We live it. We've traded with thousands of people and mentored thousands who have gone through the same process. It's not easy. So
it is not an easy thing to do by any means.
Right.
So
still sitting in my NVIDIA trade. Speaking of trading, you can see I did good timing on my partial. I said I didn't manage to add into this, but I did take a partial right at the bottom there. So that's good. I'm very happy with that partial. It's a logical place. It made sense, and we're bouncing back a little bit now. I'll stay in this. Again, I'm going to trade this like I'm live. We'll keep in it, and I'll try and add. If it goes up to VWAP and then shows weakness, I might add into this trade. But for right now, we're sitting good. I'm having a good day, simulator or not. It feels good.
Yes.
It's funny because, Mike, it's been a long time since I've traded in a simulator, and it's funny. Like, I feel like it's real because I've been trading live money for so long that I think my brain is now having trouble distinguishing between, you know, the simulator activity.
Fake
like it's
money, real money.
Yeah, it's just
the same
so
thing.
It makes it easy for me to trade like it's real because it feels real to me. So get a remote job and trade. Yeah, Zeconomics. That's a way to do it. If you can find that scenario, absolutely.
For sure. I will definitely be doing some of that.
Trading computer over here, and you got the work laptop over on the side. Yeah. Just careful when you're multitasking. Nobody's good at it.
Oh, I forgot to turn the light back up. There we go. Oh, too bright. That one's too bright. There we go.
What are Bitcoin prices doing right now? Not much.
Nah, not much.
Sitting at 76,000. I've been watching Bitcoin this morning just to see what they're up to. Not doing much.
Hey, Eamon, how are you doing? Yes. Hold
on. Oh, I got to get Eamon in here. They can't hear him. There he is.
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. Hello, guys, again.
Now you're back.
How did you do?
I had a good day. Took a couple trades on MES, took a couple trades on Tesla, and I was pretty impressed. I was trading Tesla, got out of it, and I was like, oh, let's see what Andrew's trading. And I looked over and I was like, wow, is that my trade or Andrew's trade? I was like, wow, we almost mirrored each other this time.
I know, and he hasn't showed up so that we can make fun of him for copying your trades. So
I know.
That's too bad.
You know, Mike, it's the same here. I took AMD trade and I looked at what Andrew is doing, and I saw he's taking almost the exact same entry and the exact final exit. And I was like, okay. So I think Andrew's secret is not that he's a good trader, he's a mind reader. He probably just
he's a mind
the best
reader
trades out there, and we don't know that.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's his
So he's like,
secret.
Mike is doing that, Eamon is doing that, Brian is doing that, I'm hitting here, and then we all have the same trades.
I love it.
Yep, definitely today. Gotta love it. So, but before I drop off, Eamon, I do have to say I don't want to live where you live. Springtime and snow, I can't do that. No.
I agree with you. I don't want to live in snow in springtime. It's literally the first time that we had this type of spring. I wake up in the morning, I'm coming to look at my big windows, and I want to see the sun, the flowers, the grass, and I see white, and I'm like, what happened overnight? And it literally happened overnight. And that was crazy. But they're promising that tomorrow it's all gonna melt. I don't believe that. We'll see.
I hope so. For you, I do at least. So
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, you know how annoying it is. I'm just sitting here and I'm looking across the window, and I'm like, no, that's annoying. I'm just closing this curtain.
yeah. All right. So Peter, I am getting to hop off because I got a meeting in 30 minutes and I need some food and coffee. So, but everybody on YouTube, it has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully you had a fun time with me, because I'm sure I'll be back at some point. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. And Eamon, I just got to get you set up now so that let's do this. This is probably my easiest way to change you over. There you go. No, I gotcha. And we can get you right in here as well. And let me change over the screen to your screen. Look at that. We can even get your screen on here. Okay.
You're a genius. You're a genius, Mike.
We're getting there. We're figuring this thing out. So, okay.
Soon we won't need Carlos.
Yeah. Oh my God. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. He's great at this, so I appreciate it. So yeah. So you said you traded AMD. I traded AMD as well, but I probably didn't do the same trade. I imagine you went long on it, right? Because if you were trading with AMD,
yeah.
Yeah. See,
I took it right at the open with a one ABCD ad, and I exited at the peak. So lucky, right? I mean, you know how sometimes the market wicks you out to the penny, and sometimes it grabs your order to the penny. I mean, today was one of these cases. I'm totally happy about it. You caught the reversal on it?
If you look at what I did, I took the reversal. You can see it back here. This was my trade. It actually was the early reversal on AMD. I'm actually still short on NVIDIA that I was talking to everybody about. So I got that from the top here. I got a short added in a couple of times with an ultimate stop here. I said 213.50, but fortunately we never got there. And look at the nice drop. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful move here this morning. So pretty happy with that trade. Pretty happy with where we are at this morning. So yeah, it's.
I love it. I love it.
Good morning. Now, like I keep telling everybody because I'm feeling a little sheepish. It is. I am in a simulator. So just because I'm using this old platform, and I wasn't able to make the transition. So, in any event, it's just not real money, but I'm trading it like it is real money. So. At least we got.
I'm sure some people managed to make some money copying this trade. So you made some real money. Hopefully. So guys, some of you owe Peter a beer or scotch. What do you love? I think you love scotch, right?
Yeah, I'll take the scotch. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So,
Send it to
All right.
him. Soon we'll send you the address.
Now, did you have a guest that was joining you here today, or is it no?
Yeah, by the way, guys, soon we will be having, I thought today, but I don't see him, but we'll be having Kyle at 11 a.m. sessions with me. We'll be having these duos. I'm not gonna be lonely anymore. I have a good company. Kyle is a good trader. I thought he's joining us today, but I don't see him. Maybe
I
something
s-
came up and he might join us soon.
yeah, I sent him the link so that he could dial in. So, but he's not in here yet. So,
Well, sometimes we oversleep, so I
yeah.
guess he'll join us tomorrow.
Well, all right. Well,
Well, have a good day, Peter. Take your rest, I guess.
yeah, I'm gonna get some
And
breakfast because I'm starving. Actually, it's been a long morning, and I'm still sitting in this Nvidia trade. I keep missing my opportunities to add, which is unfortunate. But you can see here on the trade, there's another. We pulled back to 210, and again dropped logically off of that. I could have added there, but we were busy yapping away when that happened, so I didn't get that. Anyways, one way or the other, I will make it work. So. Eamon, you have a good rest of the morning, and everybody, thank you so much for bearing with. Don't worry, Carlos will be back tomorrow, and it'll be business as usual then. So until then, have a good one. I might be back. We'll see what happens. If Eamon's alone, I might be back to join him since I'll be watching anyways. But for now,
well,
take care.
for now, have a good breakfast. And
Thank you.
YouTube, how are you all doing today? I mean, it was a good day. I said, I mean, I came today with the mindset that I'll be having some company at 11 a.m. and they left me alone here. It feels like I was supposed to be in a date and
Oh, that's so sad.
and
You
I
got
was
stood
ditched.
up.
I mean,
You got
I
stood up.
literally, it feels like that. It feels like that. I just
Oh.
got stood up, guys.
Well, now I
That's
feel
not
bad
fair.
about
So,
going to get breakfast. I can't leave you alone. You're sitting all lonely at the table, waiting for someone to join you. So
I know it's going to fix that. Guys, a few likes, please. A few likes, and that will fix the issue. That will increase my mood.
all
So
right,
at least
there you
support
go.
me with that thumbs up. And we don't want to get Peter starved out.
Give him a like. That'll help. All right, I will be back then for you.
Awesome. I'll be waiting for that. All right, guys. So I had a good day, and we'll go to my trade a little bit later. I was just now that I'm here for the pre-market shows and for the 11 a.m. sessions, I started looking more for news, and apparently, United Arab Emirates are decided to leave OPEC starting May 1st. Those are actually some interesting news. I think that short term, it's not going to affect the market in any way, but it adds competition because OPEC was a lot of control, and right now, if UAE can produce more oil on its own without any limitations, without any regulations, in the long run, the prices of oil could go lower because of the higher supply, right? Right now, like I said, with the tensions in Middle East, with the Iran war, with the Strait of Hormuz things, I don't think it's going to make any difference. But longer term, I think this would lean more into supply and potentially lower prices, and that would be interesting. More volatility to oil, and maybe we'll be able to drive our cars again without worrying about gas prices. All right. So, what did you do, guys? I mean, from the open or at the open, we had a few things that were interesting. I think I was interested in KO, at least watching it, not trading it. These are not the type of stocks that I usually trade. KO literally nothing. It had the earnings, good earnings, and it's still going higher. And we were talking about Cola, right? This company's been going up forever. Probably one of the best stocks to just invest in for dividends. Not the best, probably there are other higher paying stocks in dividends if you want to invest in longer term, but it's one of the safest, I'd say. It's proven itself over the years, right? There was Spotify. I expected bounce, a pullback, so it was on my watch list. I wanted to play it to the long side, but apparently nothing happened. It just kept selling off. The one that actually made the money for me was AMD. AMD was on my watch list for a long. I don't know if I mentioned it during the pre-market or not, But AMD is similar to my trade that I have taken a few days ago on Tesla. Let me open that one and show it to you side by side. Was it Tesla? No, it was not this Tesla. I think it was some other Tesla, or maybe it was some other stock. Let me find it. Let's find it. Not this, not this, not this, and not this. So where is that trade? I'm sure there was something that, or maybe it was something that I was watching, but I did not. Oh, there it is. It looks like this one that I was watching, but unfortunately did not end up working out. Yeah, I don't have a recent trade like this. All right, so let me break you or show you the thought process behind AMD. First of all, AMD gapped down, and it gapped down more than the average true range. What does that tell us? If you have a stock making a move more than its average true range, what does that tell you? Yeah, I mean, it tells you it can reverse. We're not going to say like 100% it's going to reverse, but yeah, it tells us that a reversal could be in play. Why a reversal could be in play? That's smart. That's good. Now the question is, why does that tell us that it can reverse or bounce actually? That's also correct. Because it's exhausted. Why is it exhausted? Because the daily range exceeded. Exactly. You see, guys, this all shows you a step-by-step thought process. You take a look at the stock, you see that the stock can run around $15 a day, and you see that it already made a $20 move during the pre-market alone. It tells you that the move is already too big. It doesn't mean whether that the move happened to the long side or to the short side. You see that there is too big of a move. But remember this, sometimes stock gap up and they continue trending up, or gap down and they continue trending to the downside. A good example for that is KO today, right? KO gapped up and it continued going higher. So that on its own is not enough of a reason. So what is the difference between KO and AMD? Take a look at the 60-minute chart. They are in reverse. This is KO. That's what happened during the pre-market. This is what happened during the pre-market. And take a look at AMD. This is what happened during the pre-market. What is the difference on the 60-minute chart? One small thing that is different there. Catalyst, I mean, I agree with you. Yes, KO had catalyst, AMD did not have catalyst, but that's not the main thing. The 3-candle rule, that is correct. But that's one part of the game. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we know that after 3, there could be a pullback, right? The same thing we had on KO. We had 1, we had 1, 1. Honestly, KO had 1, and that's 2, and that's 3. Now we have the 3. But that's not everything. Something else that's missing. Exactly, Jules. That's exactly it. The doji. This tells us that it is done, right? So we have the sell-off, which is more than the average true range, 3 candlestick rule, and a doji at the bottom. This tells us it's done. It cannot continue going lower anymore. It is bottoming. That was the sign. That's told me that AMD needs to go to the upside. I treat this as a parabolic reversal. A parabolic reversal is a setup that is overstretched from the 9 EMA and it can bounce back. Usually, I call this the rubber band effect. You pull it, release it, snaps back. So that's how it works. It gets overstretched from the 9, closer to the 9. Overstretched from the 9, closer to the 9. Overstretched from the 9, closer to the 9. And same thing around here. Overstretched from the 9, we expect it to get closer to the 9. So we want to capitalize on this move, the pullback move. But the real issue here, or the difficult part around here, is how can I capitalize? How can I make sure that this is the bottom? I mean, big move on its own is not enough because it can continue going lower. Doji on its own is not enough because yes, it tells me that it's bottoming, but now I wanna see some sort of a setup. And every time I'm here at 11 a.m. Eastern, when we are looking for a reversal setup, there are 2 things that I usually mention. What do we want to see before we play a reversal that is extended on the hourly chart? Think, guys, I want you to link the information. What are we looking for a stock that's extended on the hourly chart before we pull the entry? We know it's long. We see it extended. Exactly. We need a reversal setup on a smaller time frame. Reversal setup could be double bottom, reverse head and shoulders, higher low, fake break, etc. So I want to see a reversal candlestick on the hourly chart supported by a setup on the 5-minute chart. In this case, it was a double bottom. You see how we have a stock that is, first of all, a stock that is strong on the daily chart in an uptrend, sitting around all-time high, gapping down more than the average true range, having the 3 candlestick rule, having a reversal candlestick at the bottom, giving you the double bottom on the 5-minute chart, breaking the range where I played it to the long side on the double bottom, adding for a 1-minute opening range breakout. All of this gives us the thesis. That's so many reasons to play AMD to the long side. So I played it long. I added as much as I could into it, and I partialed all the way to the upside. Then we have a setup, ABCD pattern. First leg after the momentum move around the level of support. One more add, and since it's already overstretched, I decided to go for the 3 candlestick rule. Third candlestick all out. Not looking for a third move leg to the upside for 2 reasons. We're hitting the ATR to the upside from 310 to 326. That's 100% of the ATR. But I knew that there could be some momentum since we broke the high of the day. That's why I just decided to go for the final push around the high of the day, add and out with the final momentum. So that was basically the main reason why I ended up catching or trading AMD, and quite a few actually of my mentees ended up trading this thing also to the long side. Trade logs, no, trade logs, there it is. So Joachim, look at these guys, similar thought process. I did not tell him how to trade it. Look at this double bottom, breaking the double bottom combined with a 1-minute open range breakout, going for the move. Good 4.6 hours. Harvey did a nice move on AMD as well. Double bottom, a little bit of a late entry, but still a good entry nonetheless, right? It was actually amazing. And then he rode the move to the upside. So that was actually classic setup that you can always capitalize on. Any questions about this? In KO, the 60 minutes is exhausted to go long. Yes, Luis. In KO, the 60-minute chart is overexhausted. Now, there is no reason to play it to the long side. In fact, you can watch it for a pullback or a reversal play. But remember what Mike said, KO is really slow stock. It takes so long for a setup to form. And then it takes even longer for a setup to play out. Novo is going rockets. Let's see. NVO. Interesting, really interesting. We are breaking out on huge volume. Any news on NVO? Let's see if there are any news on this thing. This was a good reversal, by the way. That's what we call a risk-free trade. So there are no crazy news about it. There was just a small mention that a competitor just reported a strong weight loss, which kind of increases the pressure on Nova's drugs. But I'd say it's more of a sentiment shift rather than a major breakdown. It's more algos controlling the price when they see some small narrative. Anyway, that's what we call a risk-free reversal. What's a risk-free reversal? A risk-free parabolic reversal is, again, the rubber band effect. Stock gets overstretched from the 9. You wait for a reversal candlestick, and if it keeps the distance from the 9, you pull the trigger, and then you either move stop loss to break even if it goes against you, or you hold it into whatever target you have. For me, that target is usually a 4 to 1. I wonder what Nova did before weight loss drugs came to the markets. I have no idea. Probably was a losing company. It seems like it's losing still. Oh no. Not doing that good, not doing that bad. I think it's sitting exactly where it belongs. Sounds a bit rude, maybe.
It did.
It is.
Loser company. Loser company. I mean,
Loser company. Go back to hell.
they're not losing. They're selling the fat shot. They got Ozempic and a whole bunch of other products.
Yeah, I just looked at the weekly chart and I saw that they dropped from 140 to 41. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's where it belongs. When did was Ozempic introduced to the market? I really forgot about that. And do you guys remember?
A couple years ago.
A couple of years ago, that's exactly where it peaked.
Yeah, I think
at
so.
150, right?
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, if it was introduced like a couple years ago,
Introduced in December of 2017. Oh, that's a while back.
that's
Began
actually a while
appearing on
back.
the market for patient use in early 2018. It must have taken a while to catch on, I guess, because that's a
Yeah,
lot longer than I thought. Because I only remember hearing about it in the last 2 years, last
same.
3 years. Let's see here. Blah blah blah.
I think the first time I heard about it was Andrew mentioning it.
Yeah. Well, he was on the train with all the celebrities that were using it. When they started using it as a weight loss trend. So.
Weight loss trend. I mean, I've never had the issue of losing weight. I had an issue of gaining it, so I literally have to eat like crazy.
Go off. Don't worry, that'll change as you get older. So
Thank
here we
you.
go.
I'll eat for now.
Ozempic became very popular in Hollywood in late 2022, early 2023. So there you go, about 3 years ago. And that makes
Exactly.
sense.
That's where this peak happened. 2022,
Yeah.
2023 to 2024. And then probably it was overhyped, similar to the AI right now.
Right.
And then it slowly went back to where it belongs.
To where it belongs. You're making a judgment call on it now.
I'm sorry, but it literally had Ozempic since 2018 and it was sitting around $40 area. Then a small hype about it, and it's getting back to where it was right now. So
Yeah.
probably the price that drove it all the way back to 140 was more of a hype, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we see that all the time.
Exactly.
I did add on that little pullback. I did add just under 210 on my NVIDIA trade, hoping for a push to the low of day. So for anybody that's still following that trade, here I am. You can see I added in here. It's going well, but I'm not sure. We got to get back down under 208.50 would be probably, what's the low of the day right now? It's 208.20. So yeah, I'd want to get back into that range. My new break even is basically at the VWAP. So it used to be way up here at 212, 213 essentially, 212.98. Now it's because I added a big size, I brought it down $2 whole, basically 211. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, to be honest, looks like a solid trade. We have some sort of head and shoulders pattern on the hourly chart. Atlas is really bearish. It has a lot of orders all the way to the downside. And to be fair, the market needs a pullback. It's been on a rally for a long time, the last 2 to 3 weeks, and it needs that correction. So if I had to bet on a short, I'd bet on a short as well. Looks solid.
Excellent. Well, let's hope that's true. See what happens.
Yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Frank is saying pizza and beer is your answer, Ayman. Oh, I think that's his suggestion for me to gain some weight.
Yeah, there you go. That'll definitely help.
Well, honestly, I'm not a fan of pizza. My wife is a fan of pizza, and every time we're out, she's like, "Let's go get some pizza. Let's go get some pizza." And I'm telling her there is a lot of different kind of food out there that we can taste, and every time we're out, you're just getting me to some pizza shop. Like, why? Why are you punishing me?
Huh.
So
you don't like pizza? What don't you like about pizza?
it's not that I don't like it. It's too much pizza going on in my life.
It's too much.
I mean, I think after my wife got pregnant, she just started exactly. It's pregnancy and food craving. It's just pizza that
Yeah,
she's craving.
yeah.
I
Those
mean,
those
to be
cravings can be something else.
to be honest, I'm glad that she's craving pizza and not some fruit from the Middle East that I can't deliver here. So I'm not gonna complain. I can
There
just
you
order
go.
pizza.
Yeah. Well, that probably means that her body needs something, salt, fat, something. That
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
can't I can't imagine what it's like. I know when my wife, I mean, we have 3 kids, and every time my wife went through it, it's a big thing. I mean, you're making another human. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's tough actually. There, I agree.
Anyways, all right. So yeah, Nvidia still hanging out here, looking okay.
NVIDIA is still hanging out, but I like it for a short. I think I'm going to join you if it breaks above 210.20ish and goes back down to 209.50ish. So it looks like it's forming a mini range on the 1 minute chart,
Hmm.
which looks like a reverse ABCD pattern, classic reverse ABCD pattern. But sometimes when it's too obvious, it doesn't work easily. It needs to trap some people, wick them out, and then work out. It's good that you're having your average around VWAP. So if it traps those traders, I'm going to join you. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I hope it doesn't go back and retest. Frankly, you had a
I mean,
loss.
it's on
Go ahead.
MU.
Yeah, MU. So you want to take a look at MU? We can do that for you. I'll pull up a big chart on MU here for you. And let's see. Reversal at 10:38. So 10:38. So you were here. You tried to take a reversal. Okay. We could zoom in right on that. See an increase in volume. I see. So you're looking for a long off of that? Hmm. Well, this is all I can say from my side. This is why I only trade reversals off the retest. At 10:38, it gave a good sign. Increase in volume, hit a low, sort of bounced, did a retracement. I always take it off the second bounce, right? Like this is my mountain pass. This would be an inverse mountain pass, and it failed. So this would have kept me out of the trade. I would have been trading it over here about 10 minutes later at 10:48, 10:20, 49. Sorry. So that would have given me the signal, obviously, that it wasn't ready to reverse and that it was moving lower. So, I don't know. Like, I got to look. What were if we look at the exact same time, let's take a look at the market index. What were the Qs doing? Well, they followed almost the same pattern, didn't they? They bounced, failed, went a
Mm-hmm.
little bit lower. So, yeah, I mean, look, on the base indicators, I understand why you took it. This is one of the reasons why I've got such a complicated, if you will, entry conditions for these types of trades. That keeps me out of this type of trouble. But it does mean like I would have, this was also another reversal point. Same setup, right? Increase in volume, hit a low of day, moving back higher. I wouldn't have been in that one either. So it's arguable as to what you want to do. If you only took it once, I guess my question, Hi Z, if I could call you that, why didn't you take it again? If this met your criteria at 10:38, did you take it again at 10:50? And if not, why not? Because it looks like the same trade setup to me. So food for thought.
This looks like the parabolic reversal that I usually trade.
Mm.
Since when do you have blank charts, Peter? I thought you had moving averages.
Well, this is a new setup that I just set up yesterday on a really old version of DOS. So yeah,
Oh,
I've
I
got
see.
nothing. I've got nothing in it. I tried to keep
Okay,
it
that makes
simple.
sense.
Yeah. I can
Okay,
I
that
can
makes
show
sense.
yours. You probably have better moving averages and stuff going on there.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, I mean, it's just that I look at this and I see that this is a setup that I would have also attempted. Um, it's a parabolic reversal, and to be honest, guys, be careful with parabolic reversals, because when I went through the stats of a lot of my mentees, they have around 20 to 25% win rate with reversals using these type of entries. This on its own, telling you that this strategy is risky. The good thing about parabolic reversals is that the risk to reward ratio is 4-1. And if you manage the risk correctly, exiting at break even when they reverse against you, you will be having somewhere around 50% of your losers around break even. So that would put you roughly around 20% win rate and somewhere around 40% break even rate and then 40% loss rate. And to make sure that you can exit at break even, one of the most important criteria to play parabolic reversals is to make sure that the price is overstretched from the 9 EMA on the 1 minute chart. You can do it visually by seeing whether you can fit two candlesticks between the entry area and the 9 EMA. If you can do that, that's what I call a risk-free. It's not risk-free, but it's risk-free because if it goes slightly in your favor and then turns against you, you can always cut it at break even. And if it keeps going in your favor, then you just simply hold on to 4-1. That's what it's called risk-free. So at this stage, it was a risk-free parabolic reversal. It was around a level on the hourly chart. It had the 3 consecutive candlesticks on the 5-minute chart. It had the volume exhaustion criteria, which was good. And you had a good entry, but it was not supposed to be a loss. If you followed the rules that I explained in the webinar for reversals, that was supposed to be a break-even trade. Now, a second play, which was even better, is this thing. It's also risk-free, right? But you would have also been out of this trade somewhere around break even. You would not have made money on this trade around here. But that was another entry. But I like the second entry more than the first entry for one reason: the level. There are levels that I call A+, and it's not levels that I draw. It's levels that are automatic. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. 2 days ago high, 2 days ago low, and previous day close. These levels, even a blind person can see them because it's just there in your charts. The platform draws it for you. And you know that the more traders, the more algos are seeing this level to the exact same area, or to the then it gets respected to the penny, almost to the penny. And that's how you see how it's reacting to it almost to the penny. If you want to have A+ reversals, trade them only around yesterday's high, yesterday's low, 2 days ago high, 2 days ago low, either with a fake break, either with the risk free entry criteria. That's my short tip for it.
Here I am trading with Doc here. Said I'm trading my Back to the Future version of DAS. So there you go. We thought we'd bring Doc into it.
Daisy, he has a question.
I am about to. I was looking here. We got a good move down here. I was hoping that we get to low of day. I was going to take a partial, but we bounced. So we'll see what happens. Still holding on here.
Like I said, the market doesn't make it so easy. It's going to give us some pain. It's going to consolidate. But you have a really good average. I know that you're on the safe side on this thing. It should not wake you out. Anything can happen eventually. Anyway, Tazi has a question. What advice do you have for staying in positions during pullbacks? Do you have any tip for that, Peter?
Tips during pullbacks. Well, look, I mean, a big part of trading, one of the big decisions you're going to have to make over and over and over again is decide when is the stock, it's not doing what you want, but it's not doing anything wrong. And I think that second part is the most important decision, that you have to make. When is a stock just sort of chopping in a range, it's pulling back against you, but it's not doing anything wrong, right? And I think a lot of what you'll hear Eamon and myself and Mike and so many others talk about is we're trying to determine, sort of trend parameters. And when is it sort of moving within that trend framework? And when is it broken that trend? So, if I look at the NVIDIA trade that I'm sitting in right now, as much as I want this to go to low of day, it's not doing anything wrong. Like you're going to expect the stock to sort of bounce, right? It never goes almost never goes in a completely straight line in a direction. But it hasn't done anything wrong, right? It's still moving in a nice area. Now, I don't typically draw trend lines on my charts, but I mean, you could draw a line. Oh my God, that's a yellow line, and you can barely even see it on here. Let's
but it's accurate.
Yeah, let's just change the colors. You can actually see this thing here. We'll make it something disgusting. How about pink? There you go.
I like it.
But the point is, so this is the type of thing that I mentally put in, my head that, okay, so there's a trend line going here. Now, if it starts to go significantly above this line, and by the way, I just drew this line. I made it up, right? So is the slope exactly right? Maybe not, right? Maybe it should be slightly higher or lower. So this is why I don't like drawing trend lines. But, it's still moving in the right direction. So to me, that's how I roughly make decisions to say, it's still in the trend. It's still, doing what I would expect it to do. Yeah, it might be moving sideways longer than I want. Obviously, I want it to keep dropping because I'm short on this trade. But it hasn't done anything wrong. Once it moves above that line, then I would take a look. The other line type of line that you could draw, right, if you're not doing something like that, is I might look and say, well, where are levels that it's starting to set that I might want to take a look at? And now I've moved my thing so that I can't get the ends of it. But let's just zoom in here. If I take this same line and I say, well, instead of that, here is roughly a level where it looks like it's over the last couple of bounces. It's set a level that was first support and is now resistance, right? Somewhere around 210. So if this thing goes back up through 210, I might say, well, then it might start to go significantly higher. I would look to get out of it, which is why I added to a level where my new stop is 211 or just about above where VWAP is, because it gives me a little bit of flexibility on that rough area of trend. And you heard Eamon talking about that as well. Eamon said, you said, hey, you sort of like the short. If it goes back up above 210, you said you might look at it if it comes back through it and goes short again to take a short. I think that's the math. That's what we're doing. So, to your question, how do you know? We never know, but you've got to roughly sort of take, sort of just make decisions, I guess, about what you're going to do. And in this case, I've made a decision. I'm not going to take more partials. I'm going to wait as this thing moves sideways and makes up its mind. If it starts to go heavily above 210, you know what? I'm out. That's okay, right? It didn't work out. It decided to reverse. It changed. It changed pattern. It changed profile. And therefore, doing something wrong, like I used that initial term, that's the wrong thing. I didn't want it to do. If it starts to move heavily in my favor, great, right? Continued the trend. I'm along for the ride. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's how I make up my mind.
Yeah, this is actually a good tip. So, guys, when you trade, you should not be out of the trade unless there is something that is validating your setup to be a wrong setup. If a new setup starts to form against you, that's when you might want to question your setup. But there are always micro things that could happen against you. For example, you could say that, oh, there is a higher low around here. That's a setup against me, and I want to exit from this, or I want to bail out of this trade. And this is what I call making excuses within a trade. You're just trying to make an excuse to bail out of the trade. And it's a common mindset. Before pulling the trigger, you think about as many reasons as you can to get into the trade and why this setup is a good setup. Once you are in the trade and you are in profit, you start thinking about as many reasons as you can to bail out of the trade, to take the profits back. And this is the psychology that prevents us from becoming profitable, and it's a lot of work. What I usually do is, I need to build my bias. Are we more short bias or are we more long bias? This thing gives me the dominant trend. Do I want to be long bias today or do I want to be short bias? And just by looking at NVIDIA, and we already talked about it, this thing is overstretched on the weekly, it's overstretched on the daily, it needs to pull back. On the hourly chart, we have some sort of head and shoulders pattern. And on a micro level, there is some sort of a bear flag or a reverse ABCD pattern. And it can continue going lower also based on Atlas or based on the level 2. So all of these things are telling me NVIDIA is short. Now the question is, how will it go to this area to the downside? Straight down with a bear flag or a reverse ABCD after a consolidation, after a fake break. Now, how can I actually jump into this trade? I'm not in this trade, so I need to have a smart idea. I cannot just simply jump into the long side because it's sitting closer to the low or because it's sitting around the middle. I still need a good risk to reward ratio and I need a good confirmation. So for me to play to the short side, I want to make sure that some people are getting trapped. For example, if it breaks this level, some people would be thinking that there it is, we are breaking a resistance area, it's going to be a long, and I'm going to play it to the long side around here. But since my dominant trend and my overall idea is to play NVDA to the short side, I'm going to ignore this long play. If it ends up going long, because anything can happen, I'm going to ignore it. But if it goes to the downside, I'll have a double confirmation. My initial bias plus traders getting trapped. Since Peter is already in it, he is more on the safe side. He got an amazing entry. It's going to the downside. It's consolidating and stocks consolidate. So he already has a good average on it. What he needs to do right now when he's already in the trade and when he is adding to his winning position is to give it some room for this consolidation and to survive the traps that could happen. So he added, but he didn't put his stop loss exactly at the high of the previous 1 minute candlestick or at the high of the range because that's too tight and you need to give your stock some room to breathe. That's why stop loss right here would be so tight. So what did he do? He gave it some room all the way to view up. The level plus view up. And if this thing breaks above the level and continues all the way to view up, that's already something to be concerned about. The trade might fail and he might want to get out of it. But if it recovers and it goes lower, then he has another reason to add into it and maybe tighten the stop loss even more for the second leg to the downside. So my tip, one, build the bias. Try to feel where the market is headed, not based on feeling, based on technicals that you see. And two, give your stock some room to breathe. Let it play out. Don't tighten your stop loss using the 1 minute chart, especially if it's extended on the 5 or on the 15.
The other thing that Eamon just talked about and is obvious and like look at his chart setup, we also look at multiple time frames. I don't tend to mention that as much as I probably should, but you know it's one of those things we have to remember, right? When you're, and let me go back to my chart, you know, because you might have seen me flipping through that. So a 1 minute chart, you know, you can sort of see it went higher. You can sort of see it went lower. Now it's looking like it's chopping sideways a lot. But then, you know, whenever I get into those, what should I do? Or the question like you were asking, how do you know? Like start increasing your time frame. If I look at a 2 minute chart, all right, it doesn't look that much different. But as soon as you start to go to a 5 minute chart, all right, let's zoom in here. You know, to me, all right, it's still looking much more negative, right? You go to a 15-minute chart, I'm like, well, this clearly is still in a downtrend, right? It hasn't done anything wrong. Look at that, all that consolidation we were seeing on the 1 minute chart. It's not even evident on the 15-minute chart. So it sort of shows me sometimes it's good to, it's like stepping back, right? But there's always a fine line. You step back too far and then you can't really see any detail, right? If I go to a 60-minute chart, you know, it's like, well, this doesn't really tell me much on the day, in my opinion, right? Because there's just too little data. So, you know, it's finding a range that makes sense, but it also helps you maybe stay calm into the trade, right? No, it hasn't done anything wrong yet. Again, remember I identified that 210 level off of the short time frame chart? Well, on a 50-minute chart, to me, that makes sense too, right? Because then if it sort of reversed this candle and went up above 210, that would be a clear indication again that maybe that trend is actually starting to reverse, and you know I want to consider an action or be getting out of it at that point. So use the time frames to your advantage, right? It's not a panacea. It won't answer every question, but it can help give you a little perspective.
It gives you a small edge, guys. Looking at multiple time frames, it's not a secret. It's not that nobody's doing it. Just that not a lot of traders are talking about it. Not a lot of traders are mentioning it. It's too much to go from one time frame to another and explaining all about it in detail. So as an educational part, what we usually do, we try to explain the setup. Why did I enter the trade? Why specifically this minute? What is my target? But there is a big picture that you need to explain. Even Andrew, by the way, who is a scalper, who is using the 1 minute chart for an entry and an exit, you'll notice he has 1, 5, and daily. He looks at daily levels. He builds his overall bias based on the daily levels. He uses higher time frames on his own ways. So it's not going to give you, like Peter said, an answer to all the questions. It's not going to give you 100% success rate, but it gives you this extra edge.
Every bit of data is useful. I see you got a question about Netflix. You're asking is a 5-minute bear flag. I'd be careful on Netflix. I mean, maybe, yeah, it could be. You know, and I'm looking at it here, and I'm saying, I get what you're seeing, that this could be heading lower. You know, when I go to a shorter time frame, I'm like, my God, this thing has been sort of moving sideways for a while. I'd be careful. Like, you know, it's only confirmed. It would only confirm once it gets below, I would say, this, you know, whatever the low of. Oh, that's not the low of day, actually. So, yeah, $90.42 roughly, then I know for sure, but that's probably a little late, right? If you're looking to try and get in early. But it's risky right here because to me, this thing could go either way. And especially when I look at the, I like to go to Trading Terminal. I pull up my Atlas, because I want to see where are the orders sitting. And if I look at this, it is, let me put this on the screen for you guys. I've got some orders here, right? There are definitely some larger orders on Netflix to the downside, but there's also a lot of orders to the top side, which again just makes me a little nervous. So you know what? I mean, hey, if you think the risk to reward is good, then why not? You could get into Netflix, but it's sort of like a maybe 60-40 would be my assessment of it short at this point.
Yeah, I think for a scalp, it's not a bad trade. There are the big orders. It looks like it's flagging. The range is really narrow, which could give you a really good risk to reward ratio, after all. Probably one downside, the average true range on it is somewhere around $2.5. And we sold off somewhere around $2. There is actually some room also based on the ATR, which is not a bad thing. It just looks weird. Does it look weird to you where it drops a lot, it pulls back, consolidates, one candlestick drop, and then it instantly consolidates? It's not like the cleanest type of price action, but I see what you see.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I noticed that especially when you went to the higher time frames, where like the 5-minute chart, which is what the original question was, where yeah, like you said, right, like it's sort of moving sideways here, sideways, 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 and then essentially in one candle, poof, you drop, and then we're just sideways, sideways, sideways again. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess
So
if you're
it's
in the
good.
right position, you're waiting for that next 5-minute candle drop. So maybe we're starting it right now. Who knows? But
Exactly. Like, but bias wise, it looks good for short. Setup is there, Atlas is there, and if it's your trade book, you can take it. I like it. I mean, I don't see any reason why we should not play it short. In fact, it's more short than long, but it's just not the type of price action or stocks that I enjoy trading. But again, it's not bad. It's not the worst.
it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. I
I
mean,
always
it's not the best.
I say
I'm not
things
gonna
like that
trade it,
too,
but it's
right?
not the worst.
Sort of like saying, it doesn't suck that bad. It's just, it's okay.
Could have been worse, right?
Could have been worse. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen traders take worse setups, right? So
Yeah.
this is actually an okay one to take.
Not exactly a glowing statement of support, is it?
No, when we trade, and we've been trading for a long time now, we know that there are literally hundreds of different setups out there, and there is no setup that is the best. We tend to be more biased to what we are doing, right? But we know how other traders also trade. So I know sometimes when I analyze stocks, I want to analyze it from a neutral point. Like, I don't want to be biased or say that it's not good because I'm not trading it. I know it's a setup. I like it. That's why it's not the worst. Because it's not something that I would have taken, definitely, but I know that it's something that other successful traders are trading.
Yep.
Hey, Squad, you're there. Did you short Netflix? Like I said, it's not bad. I mean, if you shorted it, my tip for you would be just hold it at least to 9.15, maybe 9.20, but don't go for my word. It's what I would have done if I were in it. I don't want to influence your trading, guys. But if you are in it and you got the short, probably you would have managed to get a 10 cents or 15 cents stop loss. The most important thing is just to get a good risk to reward ratio out of the trade. Yamashiman is asking about the market bottoming or not. So let's take a look at these guys. It's not a bad thing actually to analyze the overall market. If we take a look at the SPY on the daily chart, this is what I call a fake ABCD pattern. Why do we call it a fake ABCD pattern? When you get a really big move, it needs to be supported by a decent pullback, 30, 40, ideally 40 to 50% pullback. When you get a really big move, but with a really small pullback, it plays with traders' patience. In a way, they're afraid to miss the move, thinking that there is a second leg to the upside and they want to rush it. And then on another way, they're like, but it needs a bigger pullback. And here the patient trader wins. Patient trader would probably avoid jumping in for a continuation, especially for a longer term play. They'll be scalping it, they'll be day trading it, but they're not going to be investing into it. They're not going to jump in for a long summer around here after all of this happened. Because whoever played it here or here or here, they know what to do around here. They need to lock in some profits. And when the big players are locking profits, that's a lot of selling volume. That could cause the price to hold around the area, and that's exactly what's happening somewhere around here. There is some momentum, it is moving, but there is some heavy selling volume. So we get the runners, but we don't get a big continuation. That's why I believe that the daily dominantly, like, it's more in an uptrend, but shorter term it needs corrective wave, it needs to pull back. That's why I'm slightly at least more short bias. Now if I'm short bias, I need to find out some plays, some levels. Where would we actually play this into the short side? And if we zoom out the hourly chart, by the way, look how beautiful this was. You see a clean high around here, clear level. And what happens? It breaks. And after the break, nothing happens. Literally nothing. That here should tell you something. The price is overexhausted, and maybe this is the moment where it's going to pull back. Now look what's happening today. It's getting back inside the range. This confirms that we had a fake breakout around here. You do not want to short it here, which is basically here during the pre-market, because that's already too big of a move. The price needs to pull back. Now, if it's actually bearish, where will the price pull back to? It will pull back into a level and hold it. It pulled back into this level. You see it? How obvious this is here? And it held it. Now, this is a sign that SPY or the market is setting up for a short move. Probably you do not want to short it around here, even though it's around the level. Why is that? Because at this stage, it's still making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, and it could still keep making higher highs and higher lows. In hindsight, it's easy to tell, oh, this is the level. I want to short it somewhere around here. But now you want to see a setup somewhere around this area, something that confirms you that, yes, this level is holding. You want to see a change in trend. The lower high was it? I think this is approximately where Peter jumped into AMD to the short, because it kind of followed the market sell-off, yeah, around 1020, maybe 1030-ish. And this is it on the market, right? Around 10, it happened somewhere around here, which is also not a bad thing, right? I mean, this is our double top, and this is the breakout. Now, at this stage, I can expect it to sell off all the way down to $706.80. If not today, maybe tomorrow, because after fake breakouts, the price usually never looks back. Now, the real question is 706. Will it be hit today or will it be hit tomorrow? Simple answer for that, check the average true range. The average true range tells you how much fuel the stock has for the day. And the SPY has somewhere around $6 to $10 maximum, right? $6 is the average. The previous day closed 715 minus 6, 709. So for today, it's kind of out of fuel. It needs to charge. So what could happen around here is a consolidation. It needs to rest before a final momentum to the downside, which might give it the push to 706. More likely tomorrow if it does not make a full reversal today. And that's just a thought process. You do not want to jump it into the short side around here, because that's where you manage a trade that you're already in. You can jump into the short side closer to the resistance area, which is 710.50-ish if it holds it, because at least that will give you some room to partial around the low before the potential breakdown. Mohad Sarawi, try to copy it. BBT 1000 off.
NVIDIA's continuing to chop sideways on me. Hasn't done anything wrong, but it's looking less like it wants to drop hard. But who knows?
It wants to break. It probably is going to just give that trap that we were talking about. I mean, anything can happen. It can just simply reverse, obviously. Yeah. But I don't see it wrong around here. Like I said, it just... The pattern is still supportive.
Netflix.
The level 2 is still supportive, right?
Yep.
Smaller time frame looks questionable, obviously, but I wouldn't say it's bullish.
Yeah. Netflix we were talking about, it's at that 940 level that's sort of breaking through this range here. So we'll see if it can break lower. The next stop would be low of day territory, $90.15, we'll call it, down there. But yeah, if you'd taken that short, you'd be sitting in the green right now, but not by all that much. You have to make some decisions about how to manage the trade. Did you end up taking it? I'm curious now. We were talking about it. Who asked about Tesla? Or sorry, NVIDIA.
Net,
Can't remember who
NVDA or
asked.
Netflix? Netflix.
Netflix. My God, I can't even get the
Yeah.
right ticker. Netflix. You know, that one. The one on the screen.
Been a long day.
That thing. Oh
Been
my
a long
God.
day.
It has been. So, anyways, if you're in it, I hope it's going well for you. So. All right. Yeah, I don't like NVIDIA as much here now. It's probably gonna pop up. Oh well.
Well,
If
the
it does, it
market looks
does.
like it's consolidating its bottom. Yeah, if it does, it does. I mean, we cannot predict what the market is going to do. We don't know if it's going to be a winner or a loser. All we can do is just react to whatever his market is doing and sticking to our trade books. You know, people sometimes ask me, I mean, how do you know that this is the level where it's going to bounce from? Or how do you know that it was going to continue going from here?
Right.
For example, yesterday I got this email. And when I was watching Tesla at 11 a.m. and you called it out for a reversal at the session and it instantly went up from the level that you called it out. How did you know that? I did not know that. I'm not a magician. I just have an edge. And you know what, guys? Trading, in a way, it's gambling. It's a game of probabilities. Because if I knew that stock is going to go to the upside, I would sell my house like Andrew says and just go all in. I know that there is a specific percentage win rate for my strategy and there is a specific risk to reward ratio that I can get out of it. And that's all I trade. I just repeat the system over and over and over. And I know that it works and it fails. And I know that in the long run, it makes me money. But it's not necessarily going to make me money right now. And yes, there were some callouts that we called around here on YouTube or we took together and they worked. But there are also some trades that failed, also live. Right? So just trying to make it clear. Not all our callouts work. Not everything goes exactly as we plan, but we have an edge and we stick to it.
Okay. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end of our broadcast here. I'm still sitting in NVIDIA. I will for as long as it takes. If I stay in this to the end of the day, so be it. It's going okay. You know, we're back to roughly the area where I added into the trade. So, like I said, my stop is now a few cents above break even. What's my new average? 210.87. So yeah, I'm about 10 cents, let's say, above where that VWAP line is. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna hang out.
All right, well, I guess Peter will update us on this tomorrow during the pre-market and see how it goes.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, reminder: I don't want anybody to feel cheated. It is in simulator, so. But it ended up being a good day. I made well, so far I'm sitting on 428 simulated dollars. and then I've got I've got my shares in here, so I've got another 60 unrealized with the rest of it. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. And guys, it's 12 a.m. We have to move on to the chat room right now. If you're not a member of Bearable Traders, feel free to join us. You're going to learn 10 times more than you're learning around here. It's a pleasure talking to you all. And we'll see you tomorrow during the pre-market show.
All right. Thank you, Eamon. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody. Regular programming tomorrow. Carlos will be back, so don't you fear. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
And thank you, Peter, for the company. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you. Take care, everybody.